Hello, hello, hello there, and we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to the show. See, those of you that would actually watch the show later. See, we have a big one here. I have big hitters. See, look at the guests down there. Just look at their faces. These are hard hitters down here, right? And you know what? I have a very, very special guest today. See, he's one of those guys that I really, really like. He's always out there with one of my very, very big mentors, and a guy that I really respect. He does a show with this guy, the Aussie, the Aussie King. I call him Steve, of course. But you know what? This is the football capital. He's just that great. He's a cool guy, unless you're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. The football capital. You're welcome to the show, my brother. Three-gun salute for you. Poo, poo, poo. You're welcome to TonyclaudeGunnerTV, my brother. We love you, man.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been a long time in the making, this one, and
Yeah.
hopefully I can return the favor and you can jump on my shows very soon as well. But look, I'm happy to be here talking a little bit about Cristiano Ronaldo, the goat, as they call him. But
Oh,
yeah,
you don't believe he's the
I'm ready to
GOAT?
get stuck into it. I'm ready to get stuck into it. Let's go.
Okay, no problem.
I'm on your side, Borche. I'm on your side.
Oh, really? Manny, even before it started, you've already picked the side. Why? And see, you know what? I have other regular guys that used to be here, but they're still special guests of mine. They're brothers, See, I have Manny here with me. Manny, you're welcome to the show, my brother.
Tony,
Not my brother in
good to
arms
catch-
these days, but you're my brother.
I mean, obviously, you got a new person who's sort of supplanted me. But listen, it's all good. It's all good. I've been busy these days doing a lot of other stuff, and I will be busy during this World Cup season. So good to be back here, Tony. Wonderful to see you again. Steve, Stove, whatever you call yourself.
It's good,
Good
man.
to catch up with you too.
Hey, you too, Manny. What's good, man?
Steve is talking
All
about
good,
you,
man, all
but
good.
see here, guys. Yeah, Manny has been very, very busy. I see him with one of my friend, Steve Fitley. He's always, down there, and of course, I know that Steve really needs someone, around in his shows most of the time. So that's why I don't really want to disturb you most times. Manny, actually, but we'll get into that personally later on. See, I also have another brother. This one is my brother in arms, usually. Steve McCullough. You're welcome to the show, my brother.
What's going on? Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, good. You know what, guys? We have the football capital, our special guest down here. See, the football capital. I'm sorry we're meeting under the circumstances, but I'm going to make it a hot seat for you today because I've seen you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo in a very, very, not a very, very healthy way to, describe your legend, your club legend. I'll just take you through it. For Real Madrid, 292 appearances, 311 goals. For Juventus, of course, 98 appearances, 81 goals. Now, see, from 2003 to 2009, of course, he was at your club. You know what he gave you? 196 appearances with 84 goals. Now, he's come back to the club, 40 appearances, 19 goals last season in the Premiership. See, yeah, why are Mancunians, why are Manchester United fans throwing this guy under the bus, saying he's no longer your legend, destroying his name, castigating his name on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere that it can be? You guys have downgraded this guy. Why? Why is this? Football Capital, state your case on why Cristiano Ronaldo is a dicey one for you right now.
Look, Real Madrid records are irrelevant. Yeah, what he did at Juventus, irrelevant. What he did at United before, irrelevant. Yeah, this guy, he's not 27 years old. He's not 30 years old. He's 37, going on to 38 years old. Yeah, the whole thing is with this. Yeah, you're saying we're taking his name through the mud and all this stuff on social media. At the end of the day, he needs to realize he needs to stop being in denial and realize that you're not that guy anymore. Let's forget about what he's done before. People like myself, and you said I was dragging his name through the mud and all that. Not really. Yeah, I'm just calling it. I'm just calling it as it is. Yeah, Ronaldo needs to realize that you're not the guy to take on players. You're not that guy to make runs anymore. You're not that player. Yeah, the club is rebuilding, and you're not part of the plans. But because it's the first time he's being told no, all of a sudden he wants to throw his toys out the pram. Yeah, it's a 37-year-old. You can't compare what he done. You can't compare what he's done in the past for us, because I can separate the two. I can separate the Ronaldo now, the Ronaldo before, and the human being Cristiano Ronaldo. I can separate all three of them, and it doesn't really bother me. I can say that he needs to leave now, but still like him as a player and what he's done for the game. Yeah, he's a Man United legend, but at the same time, it's Manchester United, and it doesn't matter if you play for Fulham, if you play for Newcastle, if you play for Everton. You can't disrespect, no matter the profile of player, you can't disrespect the club like that. You saw it with Granit Xhaka, yeah? And I guarantee some of your fans still feel the same way about Granit Xhaka throwing the Arsenal shirt, because it's not about the name on the back, it's about the badge on the front, yeah? Granit Xhaka threw the kit, no matter what happened. Yes, he was copying abuse from the fans, and people react in different ways. But there's still people that still want Granit Xhaka out of the club, even though he's performing well, right? So this thing about
trust me, those ones that wanted him out, they don't want him out no more right now. At least but
because he's playing well. But if he wasn't playing well, the narrative will still be the same. And at the moment, Cristiano Ronaldo, the reality is we win games without him. We play better without him. We score more goals without him. We create more goals without him. Just overall, our play is just better without him, and he can't accept this. So it's not us dragging his name through the mud. It's calling it as it is. At the end of the day, you're 37 years old. You're going on to 38. The club is moving forward, and you're not part of the plans. Yeah, you could have done as Zlatan Ibrahimovic and been like, you know what? I know my age. The Premier League has changed since he was there. He last as well. Let's not forget that. Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same Premier League where Cristiano comes in, does 50 step overs, and everyone's amazed. Everyone can do that step overs now, yeah. Look at Almiron, look at Saint Maximin and all these boys. Steve, I'll talk about your boys. Like, yeah, this thing is nothing new anymore. These step overs and these players. So Ronaldo, and plus he can't even do that anymore. You saw him in the Europa League, yeah, against Omicron and whatever that team is, and Sheriff and Real Sociedad. Where was he? One goal and it was a penalty. Yeah, man. We need you to get us out of the
So now we're now talking about goals here right now. Do you want to talk about goals here? And you've totally forgotten about last season where he gave you goals last season. So he's a totally different player right now, right?
Yeah, I heard you talk about this yesterday on your pod. Yeah, 24 goals, 18 goals in the Premier League. In March, Cristiano Ronaldo had 9 goals in March.
9 goals in March only.
Okay, he scored two hat tricks, a double here and a few goals over there. Where did that take us? We were playing Champions League football before Ronaldo came in. We came second.
No. The bigger question was where were all your other players when he was playing? Where were all your other players?
And all the other players got stick. If you watch my videos, I criticized. Even when Oli was here, I said even if Oli goes, nothing's going to change because these players are not good enough, right? I give credit to Ronaldo in the Champions League because he single-handedly saved us. The goals that he scored were very important in the Champions League to get us out of that group, but then went missing against Atletico Madrid. Yeah, he went missing in that game. Where this guy's meant to be the leader. This guy's meant to be the guy that takes us out of the mud. And I'm not one of them fans that said Ronaldo was the problem last season. No. Because you're right. It wasn't just him. But you can't just say he scored this many goals. Yeah, because half of them were scored in clusters. And he went like 10 games without scoring a goal when we actually needed him. And look at him now. What's happening now? You got the opportunity how many times? We can't win when you start on the pitch. You're just not part of the plans. He needs to get out of denial and needs to realize that, I'm not the guy anymore. Let me do what Ibrahimovic. Let me kick back on the bench. Let me jump on when the players need me, when the club needs me, when the manager needs me. But no, instead this guy's walking out. And everyone forgets that this is not the first time he's walked out. Because last year when Ralph told him that you're not starting against Manchester City, he fucked off to Portugal, and then he came back, and that's when he scored that hat trick against Spurs. But so he's left. Ralph Steggers, I don't know where he is. He's not sure. Same thing he done during preseason. Yeah, he done the same thing in preseason, and let's call it for what it is. Yeah, let's call it for what it is.
But can you remember what Ten Hag said during the interview? He said he was ill, lying in public. lying in public. Now, that's the narrative. That's the narrative that's pushed out there to tarnish his image. That is sick. He's not fit.
Oh, come on, tarnish his.
Let me tell you something. Because if you're gonna say that, right, then Cristiano, he was saying, oh, he's lying about me, whatever, all this stuff. Okay, but you never said one thing about Oli when Oli used to cover for everyone in the press conference. You backed Oli in your little tell-all interview. Because when Oli came in, what did he say? Ashley Young, he's my captain. We need him. Fucked him off. Alexis Sanchez, come in. You too. You can go with him as well. Oh, Fellaini, he gives us another option up front. He's a great player. See you later. Slinged it as well. So don't tell me, come on, how many times do managers sit there in press conferences and say one thing when it's not even true? It's not about lying. It's just about they're sick of the press. How many times has Jurgen Klopp done it? Where's your video to call out Jurgen Klopp? And every time he's done an interview and backed his players. We all know Salah was rubbish at most of the season, but doesn't call him out. Darwin Núñez doesn't say anything, but he keeps diverting it to make how his players. He blames the weather. He blames the grass is too wet. He blames all this shit, right? But you're not calling him out. Don't say because he said, "Oh, you're in my plans." Yeah, you're in my plans doesn't mean you're going to start. Yeah, he's
good. Okay. I will allow Manny to give his own preamble and Steve McCullough to give their own preambles. After this, then we'll go into this interview. Okay, the football capital. Of course, I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. But again, let's just get a preamble from Manny and we get a preamble from Steve McCullough before we go into what the problem really is and why are Manchester United fans already saying that he's no longer a legend. You've just said here one thing. The first word that came out from your mouth here is, I give you lots of respect for that. You said his legacy is still intact. And that's what I wanted to hear. And I don't have any problem with you. So far, you say his legacy is still intact. Many people on Twitter, on Instagram, and every other places are already saying he's no longer. See, it's hard.
Yeah, but
it's hard. It's hard to see 18, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds just tarnish this guy's legacy. Saying he's not even a legend of the club. I saw this guy single-handedly destroy Arsenal in lots of games.
Who cares what dopes on Twitter say, though?
Listen. I'm a fan of football. Generally, I care. I'm a fan of football. And secondly, I don't want to just see people's name just go down the drain because they made mistakes. We're all human. We make mistakes. We're allowed to make mistakes. We're not perfect.
I'm 32 years old. I don't know how old everyone else is, but we know what he's done for football in general. Don't worry about Man United. We know. I personally can separate the two. Yeah, I just like I separated the two when it came to Pogba. Pogba for me was a problem because not him, not because of the stuff that he was saying, but because what his agent was saying. Right. So these people on Twitter and all that with underscore Ronaldo love heart. That's their username. These are the fanboys that they're gonna pick a side. They're the ones that don't want Messi to do anything because it's gonna kill Ronaldo's legacy. Leave these guys alone. We can all separate Ronaldo when he first came to United to Ronaldo now. And unfortunately, right now, you're not 17 anymore. You're 37. So unfortunately, it is what it is, and he needs to realize that. And I want to know what the boys have to say on this as well. And I know we'll get
Manny, please chime in. Tell us what your concerns about this Cristiano Ronaldo debacle and everything, And of course, you can also add in your little preamble if you think he would be a good signing. Everyone, including you, have criticized Arsenal this season, which is my club and your club at the same time, about our little squad depth that we don't have. So isn't this a chance for Arsenal to go in there and bring this guy for a hit job? See, there's no shame in it. Van Persie, he did that with Manchester United and they won the trophy. Isn't this a very, very good chance to at least have a shot at these guys? Just once. Let's laugh at them. Can't we bring Cristiano Ronaldo to have just a 6-month stint with us? Score goals and win the title for us, do a hit job, and we'll say our bye-byes after 6 months. Manny, please, your preamble to this issue, and of course, we will now take Steve McCullough to come in.
The short answer, Tony, is no. If he's not good enough for Erik ten Hag's system because he doesn't have the ability to play the high press anymore, what makes you think that he would be of any use to Mikel Arteta, who also loves to play the high press? Even if you were to have him as, say, a bench warmer who would sort of come on and play, I mean, I remember him saying in the interview that he wanted Arsenal to win the league because he liked the way we were playing and he had great respect for the manager. But listen, talk is cheap. And it's all about a question of how he will adapt to the team and how the manager would be able to adapt his style to suit that player. It just wouldn't work. And Borja nailed it perfectly. The bloke's 37 going on 38. He has to accept that he cannot be the center of the team's play anymore. So, in addition, Borja, can you please tell me how much Cristiano was being paid every week at United?
About 500k a week.
560 or something like that.
Apparently, the Glazers don't spend money. Well, they're spending it on you, brother. They're spending it on you. You could have bought 15,000 jacuzzis with that money, but you want to complain about the facilities when he knew about the facilities before he even came. So, and even with that, a lot of people are saying, and we all agreed, like nothing that he said in that interview we didn't really know about. So it wasn't no groundbreaking exclusive. We knew about the facilities. We knew about the stadium, right? Look at Arsenal. You went to the Emirates, still haven't won a major trophy. You got all the best facilities. Look at Tottenham, best stadium in England. You got all the facilities, and you still can't win a trophy. Good facilities. And
That's a very harsh. That's a very harsh characterization of our stadium. Tethered with titles. But come on, under those things, we've still gotten some FA Cups here and there. Of course, we're in a rebuilding state right now.
Yeah, okay, boys. Let me come back in now. The reason why I asked that question, Tony, is simple. If he was earning that money at Manchester United and now they've decided to cut their losses, I mean, they're going to make sure that they squeeze every penny they can out of him and try and get him to breach of contract or whatever it may be, and that would work. So who will pay his wages? Are we that naive to think that just because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, supposed super a star who is, let's be honest, I mean, no matter how fit he may be, his influence is starting to wane a little bit, and we have to accept that. And we don't have enough money to pay his wages. Okay, so
he'll take a pay cut. He won't.
He won't. I'm
Why?
sorry,
Why are you saying this? Are you part of the contract negotiators? Do you know him deep down well?
No.
Do you think it's playing because of money?
No, but here's the thing. Let's also not forget that now he's cup-tied in Europe, yes? Because he's played in the Europa League games. We're competing for the Europa League. Why should we waste any money, salary or no salary? Why should we waste our time and our resources to get him in when he's not even going to help us win the Europa League?
Resources?
Maybe he can...
What resources? £50 million is what they said that we have for January. This is the problem I have with Arsenal fans. They see, we don't spend in January, right? Money. Even you have already said that on the show. We don't spend in January. We don't have the amount of resources these other clubs have. And when we see someone,
you have the resources. Kroenke just chooses not to spend it.
Good, I understand that, but Manny knows where I'm coming from with this one. So if we don't have that amount of money to splash on these players, and we have someone
Tony, you have to
help Gabriel Jesus.
You have to change it. You have the money. You have the money. Kroenke has the money, my bro. Kroenke has the money. It's called your fan base needs to fucking demand that you spend that money. Guys got money. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's the fan base who has to demand that the owners spend.
Otherwise, it's essentially partially Arsenal's fans' fault for not being demanding enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me come back in now. Yeah. So, as Mr. McShallow has said, it is the responsibility of the fan base to demand more. But look, even if we were to get him in on a free transfer with his contract at United ripped up, we still have to pay out some wages. I definitely do not see him wanting to take a pay cut, especially if it would mean having to come down to London, where you know as well as we all do, Tony, that the cost of living is exceptionally high. So, no, it's not going to happen. And if those are the issues that, plagued him, what's the guarantee that he's going to come over to Arsenal? And he may perhaps like the facilities, which may be better at the Emirates than at Old Trafford.
Obviously, the football capital, you know that, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. What's the guarantee? what's the guarantee that he isn't going to have a fallout with the likes of Gabriel Jesus, with the likes of Edward Nketiah, with Granit Xhaka or anyone else in the team?
Because he want to prove the Manchester United faithfuls wrong.
Well, no, he will. He wants the Champions League. He doesn't want the Europa League. And why would he want to come to a club where he'd be cup tied in the Europa League, for heaven's sake? And I get what you're saying when you say that his goals could, help us. But how many goals has he scored this season? Last season, obviously, he had a bit of a point to prove, and obviously he was banging in goals left, right, and centre. But as our Aussie friend Borges pointed out, he ended up going missing when the going got tough. When the going got tough
for the 10-game stretch.
Yeah, you could say that, and so we really don't need a player like that. If it was someone, we're talking about trying to get the likes of Howard Felix and Mikhailo Mudryk as such, trying to get them into our club, and you're thinking about getting in someone who's 37 years old who doesn't really have the legs to be able to run.
I'm just a pundit. I'm just saying. It's just a question.
Tony's saying is a short. He said like a hitman, just a 6-month thing.
A hitman. He did it with Henrik Larsson. Ferguson did it with Henrik Larsson. Bring a hitman, come win the title and fuck off. And we owe no loyalty to this guy. He's a Manchester United legend. We owe him nothing. He's not a legend in our club. We don't owe him anything. Just come do a hit job and go off after 6 months.
I would say
I see sense in that.
No. Here's the thing. The reason why we haven't done that, the last time that we actually tried that was with one of our own Arsenal legends, Thierry Henry. And because Theo Walcott had the number 14 shirt that he used to wear, we gave him the number 12. He came in for a short spell on loan from his time in America, and he, he scored against Leeds, and everyone was lapping it up, saying, it's as if he never left. And I really felt devastated when he went to go to Barcelona, because he could perhaps have stayed with us. But at the same time, I recognize the fact that we were never going to be that sort of club which would consistently challenge for the top honors in Europe. So he had to do what was right for him. But it is what it is. But listen, you and Tony, I'm sorry, but I'm going to call you out here. You have been one of those people who has been hailing the unity and the spirit and the togetherness of the squad this season, which has been
true.
Key.
Yeah. No, which is true that Arsenal had that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
It would be contradictory to bring in Ronaldo. Go on, sorry.
Thank you.
Let him do his thing.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed.
I was trying to back you up. My bad.
Now, listen. I appreciate you backing me up, but
sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I know we're on the same side here, and I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you very much indeed. Now, you've been talking about the togetherness and the team spirit. Why should we even think of bringing in someone who could almost certainly be a threat to that level of team harmony? Okay. I mean, a lot of us would say was sort of rubbing our hands with glee. Me not being one of them when we sent aubameyang out, saying that he was a detriment to the squad, the cohesion of the squad. He wasn't really setting a good example, and so we were willing to flog him off for free without even getting a penny for him. He went to Barcelona, torched Madrid at the Bernabeu, and then came back to Chelsea. Had a more than decent start with the Champions League in the Champions League and the Premiership, but then things have dried up for him. But I think things will get better for him. But with the glee that we with which we sent Aubameyang packing, why would we want to take in Ronaldo, who by the time he left Real Madrid, many people at Real Madrid, including the president Florentino Perez, whom I despise, by the way, were glad to see the back of him because, they just didn't think he fit their profile anymore. Even the people at Juventus, I think it was Buffon who said that, we had to change our identity to sort of play around him. And when he left, it was a big relief. Of course, Juventus may not be doing too well right now, but then it's a question of, do you really want to sacrifice your team ethos and your team principles just to bring in a superstar who might perhaps be on his last legs? No. N-O, no. And I'm sorry, but if any Arsenal fans are watching this who are gleefully, saying that Aubameyang deserved to go and we're glad he left, I'm sorry, you don't get to have both the penny and the bun here. If you're not going to get Cristiano here, I'm sorry.
We get. Yeah.
And just before I go to Steve, I will say that you mentioned that you're 32, Borche, but I'm sure this has echoes and inklings of a similar scandal from several years ago, which very nearly rocked the club. But thankfully, because there was a strong manager at the helm, this all was completely shut down. Roy Morris Keane. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Machala, you're next, son.
Steve Machala, please. Of course, you know we have limited time with our brother here, the football capital. He has to see. There's still some things that still have to hold him account, off in this show. But please, can you give your own preamble? Make it a bit short so that it can go round and we can just have a lovely talk before we finish. Yeah, your preamble, Steve Machala.
My preamble about the Ronaldo thing. I don't care. I don't know why Man United fans care so much. I don't know why people on the outside care so much. To me, this is a situation, and I know I said, oh, why do Man United? Look, here's how I see this, right? This is, let's look at it like an employer leaving a job, which is not the same exact thing as us average schmucks with our jobs, but essentially in principle and in practice, this is an employer of a company, Man United, Ronaldo. Ronaldo clearly wanted to leave in the summer, and he didn't. And we all knew he wanted to leave, and he did the interview to sabotage it. And honestly, it's like, I don't really care what he says, bro. It's like the guy, that would be like me being mad at someone at Walmart saying, oh, I don't like the manager. I don't like this guy. I'm putting in my 2 weeks. Bro, I hate everyone at Walmart. This guy sucks. The customers they smell like trash. They do this. The Walmart is falling apart. It's crap. It's crap. It's like the guy's leaving. The guy's leaving. Does anyone think Ronaldo is staying at Manchester United?
No, definitely.
I will tell you right now, as someone that has followed Erik ten Hag at Ajax, this guy is a man of principle. I'm telling you right now, if Cristiano Ronaldo is at Manchester United past January 31st, Erik ten Hag is leaving. I will tell you that for a fact, because this guy, Ten Hag, does not compromise his principles.
So he has an ego, right? So Ten Hag.
Of course he has an ego. Of course he has an ego.
Okay.
Of course he has an ego. Anyone at this top professional level of football, whether that's the Premier League or even a league like the Eredivisie, where you have to be decent at football more than the average schmuck, you are going to have an ego. You rate yourself in some way. Maybe you present yourself in the media as, oh, I'm a team player and all that, which obviously it's important. But yes, Ten Hag has an ego. Ronaldo has an ego. Guess what? They don't like each other. Okay. Like, Ronaldo is moving on. I know he didn't say the best things about the club. He trashed the Glazers. He trashed Ten Hag. He said he loves the fans. Like, I just
United fan base has been trashing this guy. I don't know why this
well,
is
you could see
them.
why. You could see both sides of why they're trashing him and maybe why they're being a bit too harsh. For me, if I was a Manchester United fan, and again, this is me speaking as a non-Man United fan, so my opinion doesn't really fucking matter because it's not my club, I would try to get behind with what Ronaldo said about the Glazers ad stuff just because of the platform that Cristiano Ronaldo possesses.
It costs Coca-Cola shares, goes whoop, whoop.
But, yes, exactly. He moves the Coke can and the stock prices. But the thing is, he's moving on. He is leaving. And you know what? The Glazers will learn their lesson if they decide to, let's just keep him around. And if he wins the World Cup, maybe we could get 20 million for him. It's like, that's not going to happen. What they need to do is they need to just terminate the contract, forget about the fucking money, forget it, either pay him or deal with it quick, because Ten Hag, he will not want to be undermined by the Glazers keeping Ronaldo around at the club. Because I'm telling you this right now, Ten Hag is a man of principle. He will leave if he does not feel 100% backed and supported. If he wants Maguire gone, the Glazers will have to. Otherwise, Ten Hag will threaten to quit.
Good.
I'm telling you right now.
I understand your stance there, Steve Machala, and thanks for giving us that. See, I want to go back to our special guest here, the football capital, my brother. Are you feeling comfortable there, eh?
I'm feeling comfortable, man.
You're feeling comfortable, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sure.
Nice. I want to make you as uncomfortable as possible, right now. Now, see, this is the second one I'm going to throw at you, my brother. Listen, in that second interview, Cristiano Ronaldo, he just gave us, part of the information that we really wanted to hear. And of course, you talked, because of course I'm an ardent follower of your show. I listen to your show. You touched these topics, on your show. Very lovely show. I do watch it. See, I'm talking about that issue about the Rayo of volcano problem that they had. My brother, 18 members did not show up to that, on the grounds that day against Rayo.
So why are
they, for crying out loud, scapegoating Ronaldo?
It's not a scapegoating thing. It's a balance.
18 members, my brother, the football capital. 18 members were out of that Rayo Volcano program whatsoever, but they found Cristiano Ronaldo to be the black sheep. Okay, this guy lost his kid, and one is seriously ill, and yet is facing lots of.
Okay, let's
online.
Take it back.
Let's even go further. The excuses given by Eric Ten Hag, online. Even the sports situation where you want the legend, your GOAT, to come in just 2 minutes to do what? What type of excuses? And Ten Hag was actually, he came out and he said something like, I don't want to tarnish his legacy. You already did that.
But who
again? This is him into your game plan.
This is the nihilist part of me that asks, honest to God, who cares? He's leaving.
Good. The football capital. What can you say about that?
Okay. The Real Vallecano game, you're saying 8 players. Yeah. 8 players left at halftime. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ronaldo was the only one that was playing on the field. When you get subbed off, no matter friendly, Champions League final, whatever game it might be, you sit on the bench. You're a sub. You go back onto the bench. If the other 7 players, they weren't playing. They were in the stand. They just traveled with the team. So why do you think Cristiano is getting called out? Okay, he's already apologized, and even Ten Hag covered for him in the press conference. You're saying, he disrespected him. He said there was other. Even Ten Hag said, there was other players too, but we'll handle it. I wasn't happy, but we'll handle it. So he settled that situation. Ronaldo said maybe he would have taken a different stance to that, and there you go. That's sorted. That's done. Now you want to talk about the games about him coming on for 2 minutes against Spurs, which was our best performance, and he decided to walk out instead of clapping his teammates with it was probably our best performance of the season, right? Winning 2-0. Come on, maybe waste some minutes, maybe get yourself a goal, because the way we were playing, someone like Ronaldo, you never know, you grab yourself a goal because the way we're finishing off the game. But no, he decided to walk off, right? But then when against Liverpool, where he came on in the 87th minute, Cristiano came on 87th minute. How come we didn't see him throw his toys at the pram then? What's the difference? Tell me that. So you can't have it both ways. And then you're saying against in the Manchester City game, he didn't play him because he was, and Ten Hag using. Okay, I understand, and to an extent, I think it was an excuse from Ten Hag in that Manchester City game to not put him on. But if I was Ronaldo, I would have taken that excuse and say, thank you, Ten Hag, for not ruining or tarnishing my legacy, because we're getting smacked up about against Man City. And let me tell you why. First of all, we didn't touch the ball against Manchester City. We couldn't hold the ball for fucking 2 seconds. Yeah. So you tell me midfield was all over the place. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't hold possession, right? So you told me when you stick Ronaldo up front, who's getting him the ball? Who's getting him the ball? We just couldn't get Ronaldo the ball. And the player that he did put on, Anthony Martial, scored 2 goals. Why? Because he can get him behind. The link up with Luke Shaw, he gets himself a goal. Again, takes on players that Ronaldo can't do. He won himself a penalty. So if you look at the decision, if I was Ronaldo, I'll be like, thank you, Ten Hag, for that excuse. I think the real reason for that was because we weren't holding the ball. We were rubbish. We were like, it was watching men against boys. We couldn't hold the ball. So what was Ronaldo going to change in that game? Well, he was going to come on and score 5 goals. Do me a favor. Come on, let's be real about this. He's not going to come on and score 1 goal, 2 goals. Even we did score the 2 goals, it didn't mean anything, right?
So in your thoughts right now, brother, does it mean that Cristiano Ronaldo is finished as a player, as a football player? Before I move to Manny with a different
Ronaldo's
question.
still got something to offer as a football player, but at the highest level, unfortunately, I don't think so. And this is why I think
Not
Arsenal,
at Man United.
but even in the Premier League, he's going to get a Chelsea. Him and aubameyang are going to be looking at each other like asking where the goal is. You might as well get Timo Werner back. At least he hits the post. He gets something on target.
Okay,
right?
I want you to.
Let me put with the Arsenal thing. Coming for 6 months.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Be this hitman. What kind of hitman is he going to be? What's he going to do in that 6 months? His whole problem is sitting on the bench. So who's sitting on the bench? What, Jesus? Is Jesus now going to have to go play out wide? Is Martinelli going to have to come off? Who's coming off for this guy? Why would you come in, kill the whole, like Manny was saying, the whole the positive vibes.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's not even that, Steve. You know what they can do? You go out, get like that guy from the Ukraine, Ukrainian guy.
God.
You get
Mikhailo Mudryk.
Arsenal fans that have been crying that we don't have squad in depth, and suddenly we have something cheap we can get, and they're saying no, we don't need it. This is funny. It's funny to me.
Now, hold on. I don't know why you want to get a player in that doesn't want to sit on the bench, but you want him to come on for squad depth. Doesn't make complete sense. Your owners are not going to pay his wages, so how is he going to play for free? If he does, fantastic. He's still a United player technically on the books, so there is going to be a transfer fee unless the contract is terminated.
Which they should do, by the way. They should terminate it,
but
they won't because the Glazers are penny pinchers.
Well, then if they terminate the contract and they don't pay him out, maybe Ronaldo will take him to court, and maybe he can sue for one last time, pun intended. So you know what I mean. So, and this is the thing, Arsenal, let me tell you, it took Arteta 4 years to get you guys where you are now. Ronaldo in 4 months will take you back to fourth. If Ronaldo signs, City win the league. Simple as that. If you guys have
but this is what Man United fans have been saying. All Man United fans, this is what they've been saying.
It's 2022, bro. It is not 2002. Yeah, it's not 2008 Ballon d'Or winner Ronaldo. Yeah, you're saying he was in the interview. He's saying like he's an example and all that sort of stuff. Bro, the players don't like him. They're not going to shed a tear when he leaves. What kind of an example Ronaldo wants to be? Where his last season, everyone wants to mention last year's goals. Yeah, he scored this many goals, but what about his attitude when he's smacking phones out of 15-year-old kids? No one wants to mention that. What kind of an example are you? To what kids? To the youth? Sancho, Garnacho, and all these guys are looking at you and inspired, but you're doing that. And then he's going to come into Arsenal and do what?
Okay, Tony, I have a question.
Okay, you know what?
I'll be going to Manny now. Ronaldo coming and scoring goals and then winning the league with Arsenal to stick it on United. Yeah, fairy tale story, fantastic. But why? Why won't you go out there? Edu's now appointed sporting director. Now he's got something to prove. Yeah, he's kind of earned that with the players that he's probably got, or that he brought into Arsenal. Go out, get a player, get the quote unquote the next Ronaldo, or get someone else that you're gonna have for 5 or 6 years.
Look to the future.
Okay. You know what? I want to get to Manny now, but Steve, I want to ask you a quick hit and run kind of stuff here. Will you Newcastle United? Will you take Ronaldo? I know you don't have any loyalties to all these guys. Will you take a Cristiano Ronaldo for 6 months?
I would rather there's so many players I'd rather have. I'd rather have Davitashvili at Bordeaux. I'd rather buy him. I'd rather buy Dango Awatara. I'd rather buy Tere Mofi, both of them at Lorient. I'm looking for the future, bro. I'd rather have Garankuwa play for Newcastle.
Okay, so you wouldn't have Ronaldo to come do a hit
and
run kind of thing.
We have enough striker depth. Ronaldo. That's the kind of Man City takeover signing that I would rather avoid.
You would rather avoid.
Look. I don't see it fitting.
He wants to play Champions League football and he wants to play at the top level. Now,
well, to be fair, he might play Champions League. So
yeah, exactly right. That's what I'm saying. By all means, they could, but they're not playing Champions League now.
I think the way the owners have recruited, at Newcastle, I don't think a Cristiano Ronaldo signing would be on the cards. Personally,
will be on the cards.
If we're looking at the players that we've bought so far under Amanda Stavely and Ashworth and Eddie Howe. So
Good. Okay.
Tony,
Money,
Tony,
please
on
come
a
in here.
positive,
Money,
Tony,
please
quickly,
come in here.
Now, I was just
Money.
about to say, if he does go to Arsenal,
Yeah.
and on Manny's point about him being cup tied, I think they got rid of that. So he could win the Europa League with Arsenal. There's still a chance.
Oh yeah, it's
They got rid of the whole cup tie.
Manny, your excuse.
Come on, Manny.
Your excuse has just been blown open. Thank you, the football.
To be fair, I could see
You're
the
the man.
crunky.
You're the man.
I could see the. By the way,
Don't listen to him, Manny.
Get in, my friend David, wherever he is, he will say, "Get in." Okay, you know what? See, Manny, your excuse right now about being cup tied in Europe has just been thrown to the wind.
I'm going to do some research on that right now and shut you up for good, Tony. But listen, listen. Here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, that is a misconception. I believe that the rule is if you've played in the Champions League and you move to a Europa League club, then you're eligible to play in the Europa League.
Yes,
if you move from a Europa League to a Champions League club, you can play in the Champions League. But in the same competition, I'm sorry, no dice. And I will confirm that. But what's your question, Tony?
Yes. See, Manny, it's simple. The treatment of Cristiano Ronaldo right now. Listen, the club came out day before yesterday, an official statement, and they said that they are already looking into the legal implications of the interview that
they want to save money
that Cristiano Ronaldo did. So they are now looking into to terminate that contract based on breaches of the agreement itself with the club. So, do you think this is how to handle, in all ramifications, holistically, as a man of, principle as you are, that I know that you are? Do you think this is how to treat termination of contract? Do you think this is how to treat a legitimate legend of a club like Manchester United? Do you think this is how to actually make it like balance the whole equation with him being a legend of the club and him making one or two mistakes and just want to tear the contract, rip it off, and tarnish his image publicly? Where do you lie in this?
Do you not realize, Tony, that in the course of that interview with that cretin, Piers Morgan, Ronaldo did a lot more to tarnish the image and reputation of Erik ten Hag and more than a few other players at Manchester United than Ten Hag has been accused of doing to Ronaldo? And you talk about how the club should handle it carefully, how they should treat him with respect based on everything he's done. Well, I know that there was a precedent in this because I mentioned the example of Roy Keane, yeah? That fellow saw it fit to give an interview to the club's official television channel, MUTV, after United got spanked at the Riverside Stadium by Middlesbrough to the tune of 4-1. I believe it was Gary Neville who was supposed to do that interview, sort of play the pundit thing, but Keane went on instead. And he ended up saying some utterly uncharitable things about a few players. Just because Rio Ferdinand plays well for 20 minutes against Tottenham and gets 120,000 quid a week, he thinks he's a superstar. A few players like Darren Fletcher, Kieran Richardson, they might not be good enough for United and all that jazz. I don't want to get too far in depth into that. But, again, you just do not do that do that in public. And there are a lot of people who have come over to try and defend his side of the story, saying that he said a lot worse things in post-match interviews after the team would play. I believe in the 2002 season when we won the double and we won the league at Old Trafford, I think in the run-up to that he was saying that the team wasn't giving 100% effort every single game. I mean, it's a detriment to team spirit. And when we played them at Old Trafford, Keane was actually the only player in that side who didn't really have a good game. But without digressing, I believe what happened was that after the confrontation between him and Ferguson, which reached a point where Ferguson and Queiroz decided that after everything that has happened, he had to go. And Ferguson noted in his autobiography the same observations that are being said about Cristiano Ronaldo. Keane thought he was Peter Pan, but the fact is he was never going to continue to be that dynamic box-to-box midfielder that he was in his prime. He had slowed down. He had taken more of a defensive role. But the problem was he wanted to have more of the action, and yet despite the fact that his spirit was not just willing, but really, really, really excited and really, I would say, greedy, his body wasn't his flesh wasn't just weak, it was brittle. But Keane never realized that. But then Ferguson also knew that in the run-up to that interview, there were a few tips with him, and that MUTV interview was the breaking point. Now, of course, after that confrontation, Ferguson said, we did well by Keane. Although we terminated his contract midway through that season, we paid up the rest of his contract in full because it was supposed to expire at the end of the season, and they gave him a testimonial in reference to, with regard to what he did for the club. But let's bear in mind that, with the exception of possibly criticizing Ferguson over his horse dealings, he never truly, said, "I don't have any respect for Alex Ferguson." He said nothing of the sort, and he never openly insulted the manager. He never openly insulted the club. He did say a few things about the players, and of course, he said a few uncharitable things before. But there comes a tipping point, yeah. And so I'm sorry, but you cannot go on television and say, "I don't have any respect for Erik ten Hag if he doesn't have any respect for me." Mate, you're just a player. I don't care how big you are. You are just a player. When it comes to football, it's the manager who is the boss. And you don't get to, run your mouth off and think that you can just run the show just because of the legacy you've left or your status at the club. He's not even the captain, for Pete's sake. You are supposed to do your duty. That is, make sure you knuckle down, work extremely hard, and make sure that you prove the manager wrong. And the worst part is that even after that debacle against Tottenham, he, was dropped against Chelsea, served his punishment, but was reintegrated, scored in the Europa League, and then was made captain against Aston Villa. And just because they lost, I think there was another story about him doing a granite shaka, ripping off the armband and throwing it onto the floor. I don't know if that was confirmed or not, but again, that just proves it. So you see, there's a continuous litany in the span of a few short weeks. And you cannot ask anyone in their right mind to ignore that. And let's bear in mind, when he pulled that stunt against Tottenham walking off, his apology on Instagram lacked any sense of contrition or any sense of responsibility for the gravity of his actions. He did not directly apologize to the manager. He did not apologize to his teammates. He didn't even apologize to the fans. Sorry isn't always the hardest word, as to paraphrase Elton John. But he said, all we can do is work hard. We are Manchester United, and United we shall stand. We move. Mate, what you did was wrong. You owed everyone involved an apology. And yet he was still indulged. And so for him to do this, he bit the hand that fed him. He bit the hand of the person who gave him a second chance. He basically said that he never cared about the club anymore with his actions. And there are several people on YouTube who have basically done a really good job in dismantling all of the lies that he's been telling about some other stuff. I mean, obviously when it comes to the fact that he lost his son, he was given a warm tribute by people all around the Premiership, yeah? And even
the Premiership is different from the club.
Yes,
I want to get this. I want to get this off. It's different from the club.
But I'm going to take 20
people in Liverpool standing up. Fans standing up is different from the treatment he had with the club. The lack of communication he had with the club. It's different.
Tony, Borche, before you jump in, I'm going to take 30 seconds max. So he received treatment not just from the entire Premiership, but everyone at United actually opened up their hearts to him and made it clear, you are one of us, we love you, and we will support you in any way we possibly can. But he also, he knew about the support. So for him to suddenly say, "Oh, the management didn't believe me when I said that I, my daughter was sick and I had to be at the hospital," well, again, I don't know if that was a lie or a truth, but it seems clear to me that of the two people involved, one of them isn't telling the truth, and there needs to be a lot more clarity on that. And we haven't heard anything from the management either. But it's also pertinent to note that around about that time, his that was pre-season, mind you, and his agent was still trying to hawk him off to other clubs who were interested in him. So, and he also said that he had a deal from a Saudi club who were willing to pay him, a king's ransom, pun intended, to join the club. But he said no because he was supposedly happy at Manchester United. I mean, what the hell is it, for crying out loud? One of you or both of you has got to come out with the truth. And so I'm sorry.
And also,
Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Manny, for that.
Okay,
I think
I
I just want to say one thing because Manny brought up the fact about his family situation. Look, I think and again, this is serious stuff here, and I'm not trying to make excuses for Ronaldo's behavior, but I will just say this as I've been thinking about this. When you go through a tragedy like Ronaldo did, I think every one of us here, we're all men. Maybe some of us have children, maybe some of us don't. I don't, but I do think I would act a bit differently. I would act a bit differently if I think there would be a time in my life if something like that happened. There might be a 6 month or 1 year span where I'm not myself, to be fair. I think that can really fuck with someone's head. So maybe that could also explain, because you're right, Manny, the stuff about him saying he didn't feel supported, he was happy here, he was to be honest,
health issues. Have we thought
I
about
think yes. Like that's all I'm going to say.
The football capital is not having any of that. It's not having any of that.
I'm not because I've got 2 kids, right? I've got 2 kids. One's 10 months, the other one's 2 years old. And let me tell you something. What happened to Ronaldo? You don't wish it upon anyone. A tragedy like that. And he someone in the comments is saying like United's at fault the most, right? Now look. They're saying that they didn't show him that it was a lack of respect, or they didn't believe him and all that sort of stuff. Manny quickly touched on that about the stuff with his daughter. Okay, take it for face value. She was sick and he had to be in hospital. Now, pre-season, where was it? In Australia. Look where I was. I was at one of the games, the one against Palace. The whole pre-season tour, the questions that were asked was, "Where's Ronaldo? Where's Ronaldo?" And even Ten Hag was like, "Look, he's not with us at the moment, family issues." But there wasn't really. It was still like a little bit of a grey area. It just felt like another thing, like just covering for him. Oh yeah, it's family issue, right?
Yeah.
Because no one's really sure. And then this guy's saying, "Oh no, they didn't believe me." Well, how are we going to believe you when your agent is out here trying to get you to move away, right?
Yeah.
Another thing, when that thing happened with his son, he came back after a week. He didn't play for Liverpool and came against Arsenal. I'm pretty sure the club would have said, "Take as long as you want." You can't tell me. And if the club didn't say that to Ronaldo, with the ego that he has and what we're saying in this interview, he would have said something then and there, and he would have fucked off. He would have said no. He was saying family over football and all. He goes
just like any of us would at our jobs.
Goes to you, what the hell? I've just had this happen to me, and you want me to come and play? I guarantee you, United told him, "Take as long as you need. Take as long as you need."
Yeah.
He came back after a week. So with this, his daughter, had bronchitis. He was in the hospital.
But again, we can't be sure. We can't be sure. In the interview, he
said
that
we
a lot of
executives.
No. He said that a lot of executives at the top helm of Manchester United don't like him. They want him off the club. So we cannot actually say that they gave him that.
Yeah, I'm just saying with the whole thing with his son first, right? They would have probably said, if they said to him, "No, you need to come and play against Arsenal," any player or any human would have said, "Hold on a minute. I'd rather leave now. I'd rather tell the fans and tell the club and make it public then and there that these guys want me to play, and but look what's happened to me. These guys want me to come on and play." The thing with his daughter, right? He said he was in hospital for a week. So the rest of the preseason, where were you? Your agent was trying to get you a move, and in that same time, your wife was pictured at the concert. She posted up her being at some concert with her other daughter. So if your daughter was sick, the receipts are out. The internet's a funny place, bro.
The reaction on Manny's face.
Then your wife is pictured at the concert. She's posting pictures. Ronaldo's there promoting his new underwear. He's at the Sporting Lisbon doing rows, the Sporting Lisbon training complex.
What if that's his way of dealing with the whole? I don't know, with the whole mental stress, with the whole mental breakdown.
Yeah, but then
we react to things in different ways.
This is pre-season, bro. No. Listen, let's call it for what it is, bro. Because there's other players that have in the same thing, in the same situation, but no one's calling them out. It's because Ronaldo. And you're saying people are saying that United has disrespected Ronaldo for what? When he came out He came out and said, "I'd like to thank the club for showing me support during the tough times." Yeah, the club did that. When he scored the record for international goals, Man United showed him respect all over social media, praised him in everything they've done. When he scored his
117 goals.
When he scored 700 club career goals, he didn't score 700 at Old Trafford. Yeah, but they still printed him a shirt, still took pictures with the team, gave him balloons, praised him all over social media. And you're saying the club doesn't respect this guy. But then this guy wants to come out, throw his toys at the Prem. The only reason, he said in August, I'm going to come out in a tell-all interview. How come you didn't do it back in August? Because you didn't get your move. Yeah, he was meant to come out with this.
Yeah, it's completely strategic. I agree with you.
It's so yeah, exactly. He knew when he was going to
agreed.
He got told he wasn't going to play against Fulham. So what did he do? I'm ill. Cough, cough. Let me go to the doctors and say I'm not feeling well. Come on, bro.
Exactly. Okay. You know what? Let's go into this last question because I know that the football capital will want to go soon. So let's go into this last question. See, yeah, and it will start from Steve McCullough, then to go to Manny, then the football capital will round off on that. Then we'll go into what we think about, will be of course, top 4 this season. Then we'll close the show. Football capital, please just give us a little bit more time, please. I want us to end the show in a very, very harmonious way, not with the Ronaldo debacle and everything. Steve McCullough.
I can see how you like Ronaldo so much. You keep saying see. You're starting to speak I get it now. I get it. I understand.
No.
Good, bro. You might be related, man. You might be related. We're gonna check
I'm not related. I just love football, and I've seen this guy play. It's probably the GOAT in my own sight, the way he's played. Of course, I see through.
Can I just say one thing?
This is few misgivings and his behavior right now. I see through them because we're human beings, and I do believe that human beings are fallible people.
Creatures.
We're
but you know what?
Creatures. So,
Yeah, but look at.
I still think he's the GOAT.
You're gonna look at like Steve was saying before with the whole warm-up thing and all that sort of stuff, right? Does it let's just say for example, see the Aussie Gunner, Steve, he comes on my channel all the time, right?
Yeah.
Now if Steve was on other podcasts or jumped on another pod and started saying, the football capital is this, his facilities, the microphones are this, he's doing that. Do you think I'm gonna have him back on the show? Or do you think I'm just gonna
You're not gonna.
We're good this is the same thing. It doesn't matter how big the situation or how big the person is. The similarities are all there. The situations are all the same. You can't disrespect someone. Or maybe Steve will do it because he wants to leave. He wants to get to another place. He's not happy.
Force a move.
Force a move away. So it doesn't matter what it is. Ronaldo, go or no go for whoever. We're not going to forget what he did at United the previous times. Even last year, we're going to the memories against Newcastle, his debut or second homecoming. God. We're not going to forget that, right? We're not going to forget the memories that he's given us, the hat tricks, the crazy goals that he scored. We're not.
And I respect that football capital. I respect that. Right
now, unfortunately, man, if this was Maguire, bro, no one would be backing him if this was Maguire. If this was any other player,
including you, Tony.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course, so, I don't like Maguire.
I think just like it was for Paul Pogba, the best scenario for all parties is just to part ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, we might be upset now. Yeah, as fans, we might be upset now how it ended, but give it time, and I think all them bad memories will fade, right? And then we're still gonna remember the nostalgia, the good times, and I think that's what. At the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. So
that's what's going to happen.
The betterment for the club is I know Steve was saying about Ten Hag's ego, but everything he's done so far has been spot on in terms of the signings. None of his signings have flopped so far. We're playing better football. It's a slow, very slow process, but eventually I think this guy's the right guy, and you need to stop this player power. We've seen that at my club, we've seen that at your club and Chelsea as well. When player power prevails, the whole club goes down. So we need to stick by this manager as United fans. If his decision is to get rid of Ronaldo, doesn't want to play, we have to do with that.
Back it.
Okay. Yeah. A big friend of this show has just popped in. I don't know. I've been trying to add the True Red Devil, but his appliance is not showing down here. I'm sorry, David. I don't know why it's not coming on. But See, I have Stephen Fitley, my good friend, is also a very, very good collaborator with Manny down here. Great guy. I love you, my man. You're welcome to the show. You're making a debut here. You would have your say about this Manchester United stuff that's brewing everywhere and causing a ruckus around social media and everywhere. You would have your say, my brother, and you're welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you. I've been trying to get on for ages. So I'm glad I finally found 10 minutes.
I sent invites to you, man, but you were just busy.
I know. But at least, like I thought, like I know it's got to be on someone else's as well. So I thought I'll come for 10 minutes and kind of show some support. She always showing me support as well.
Yeah,
but
sure.
This whole Ronaldo thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you know what I love about? Do you know what Piers Morgan, for example? What a hypocrite, right? You sat there on GMB, which got you sacked, by the way, by GMB, right? Asking Meghan Markle to name who is racist in the royal family, right? So why aren't you asking Ronaldo which chief executive told him he can't go and stay with his family? Right?
It's because Piers Morgan looks up to Ronaldo like a 5-year-old child does. It is what it is.
He's literally licking his ass. He's literally
But they're friends. But outside the whole thing, they're friends, right?
But as much as
right.
That's what mates do, right?
But look,
you talk right when you're with your mate, right?
But still,
not the same gesture with Gary Neville and Rooney down there,
Here's the thing: if you've got it for one interview, you've got to do it for the same interview, right? For a different one, you've got to stay like in the same lane, right? But Ronaldo, for example, right? He can't accept that his career in football is coming to an end. He can't accept it. So he's spitting his dummy out. He can't accept it. Ten Hag knows factually that Man United play better without Ronaldo. Garnacho is playing better than Ronaldo right now, right?
Yeah.
That's why he took a shot at the young players, for example. Ten Hag, right? I'm sorry, you do as you're told, right? You might be the greatest player on the planet, but you do as you're told. He's the manager. Souness, right, and the rest of them that back him, right? So you promote player power, do you? Are you serious? Like, honestly. But then he has a go at Pogba for stepping out of line even once, right? For making 4 assists. Like, Souness, we all know your agenda, so get lost. But with Ronaldo, what if I had 5 minutes with Ronaldo? So like, honestly, you are moaning about. You're worried about the end of your football career, right? That's what you're worried about. There's some people in this world, and I don't really want to bring this up, but there's some people in this world, like myself, that don't even know when their life's going to come to an end, right? They have to accept it, that their life's coming to an end, right? And you're worried about your football career. Get a life. Grow up, right? Surely that, as much as tragedy about his child dying, which is devastating, obviously. Surely that would teach you a bit of something about life, right? Life is bigger than what we're talking about in football, and you're making it out like this is the end of the world. Like, so for me, right, Ronaldo has just proved to me what I've said all along. Messi is 10 times better, and because he's more humble with it, right?
Okay.
For example, Messi, when he left Barcelona, he was happy to like half his contract, right? Or need to get paid diddly squat for Barcelona to keep him there. Barcelona said no, right? What did Ronaldo do? I loved coming back. Yeah, but you take $500,000 a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Okay. See, Steve, you know what? See, this question will go to, because I don't know the time when the football capital will be leaving. Of course, because he had a very specific time limit for this show. So please, whenever the football capital, whenever you want to, take your bow, please just signal to me. But I'll start with this with you, then to go to Manny and every other person across the field here. See, and of course, the football capital. You touched this in your program today, and we're talking about the facilities in Manchester United and the ripple effect. See, the Glazers have somehow made or turned the Old Trafford into a kind of like
Dumb.
a militarized kind of place. Do you know why? Because banners that stipulate Glazers out have been banned
get
from
removed.
the stadium
They get
right
removed
now. So
on
people's
entrance.
freedoms, exactly. So people's freedoms are totally out of the question
Yeah,
at
being
Old Trafford right
compromised.
now.
You
You
say that, hang
cannot
on.
lift a Glazers out, banner right now in that
But people
stadium
say-
because they've kind of banned all those things right now. Now, the wheels
Tony,
have fallen.
these people
You're
like that these banners with glazes out. They're also buying the tickets and buying the merch and buying this and that which finance the Glazers in the first bloody place. They're probably the one that sit in the frigging queue when now they're signed for the club.
No, it is. I mean, it is. It is true. If people were actually Glazers out, you'd do what
wouldn't spend
Newcastle
any money on
fans
the club.
did.
I didn't spend
You'd fucking protest.
I've only started spending money on Arsenal now because Arsenal are now starting to do what I wanted them to do, which is challenge at the very top. Whether we can actually sustain that this season, I don't know, but I'm hoping we can. Right, but at the moment, they're doing what I expect them to do as a club. Right?
okay,
That's why I've
good.
now started investing in them again.
Now, see where I was really going with that question. But tonight we could see it through that perspective. So now, Glazers out flags out of the question right now in Old Trafford. Right now, you have a decaying, at least decaying facilities in that stadium right now. The roofs. I have friends who've gone to the stadium. The roofs of Old Trafford
It
are
leaks.
leaking.
Yeah.
They are leaking
And we
legitimately.
need Ronaldo to tell us that.
Ronaldo called to question the cooks. He called to question the jacuzzi and all these things, all these facilities. Now,
Did his fried egg get burned in the morning?
in respect to that interview,
Sorry.
the football capital, please listen to me. Manny, listen to me. This question, and Machala, listen. This is very important. Now, in Ronaldo's interview, he echoed these things. He echoed these concerns that your roofs are leaking, your jacuzzi is shit, the food is kind
The
of
owners
maybe
are
not good.
unambitious and only care
They are
about
not
money.
ambitious enough to bring in what should, at least in football terms, they're not really helping the football club. Shouldn't this have been looked upon, this interview, rather than Cristiano Ronaldo's character portrayal? Isn't this supposed to actually amplify the kind of protest that should be coming from Manchester United fans, rather than Manchester United fans really looking at his attitude, his behavior? Why not just amplify what the guy is talking about? I think there's a bigger fish to fry down here. I think there's a bigger message that people are not really just really looking at. They're looking at the sideshow rather than looking larger than life at what is really going on. The football capital. Can you take us through this? What do you think? And Manny, please, what do you think after him, and then Steve Machala, and then Steve Fitchley? You can chime in on that.
See that, yeah? You saying that and people that said exactly what you're saying now, Ronaldo said this, so you can amplify what the Glazers are doing. This is how his interview was meant to go. Let me add some of this about the jacuzzi and the leaks in the stadium. How do you know there's a leak in the stadium, Tony? Because
I
Ronaldo
have
told you?
I have friends who have gone to Manchester United,
Exactly.
and the
I'll get
roofs
to
are
Old Trafford
leaking.
too. Exactly. So you
They
didn't
showed
need
me
Ronaldo
pictures.
you didn't need Ronaldo to tell you. It's already out there.
To be
Ronaldo-
fair, though, Ronaldo's platform is more than mine.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when you got journalists at the ground, yeah, and in the whole journalist section where they all sit, when there's water leaking on their laptops, you think they're not writing that? How many go? If people, okay, I know we're in a generation where it's all video and all that. Not many people read articles, but The Athletic has put in their articles about the leaking stadium, and you can say Ronaldo's platform is massive, and the people that don't support Man United and just support Ronaldo, or don't even support football, just support Ronaldo, you think they're going to care about what he said about Old Trafford? No. All this stuff we already knew. He's talking about, I think the thing about the cooks was kind of maybe taken out of context. I think he was maybe talking about the kitchen, maybe in general about the facilities they use.
To be fair, English isn't his first language.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. But then again, even if he was talking about the chefs, Ronaldo's got his own personal chef that cooks for him. Even someone like Luke Shaw, these players, they've all got personal chefs that they make stuff for him. Everyone's got a different type of diet and whatever. So that's irrelevant to me, yeah? All the other stuff, we already knew. Why do you think the protests are happening? Why? Because for no reason, we just want Glazers out and there's no point. Everything is calculated in why we don't want the owners here, and we know they're not going to sell, so we need to put pressure on them, on these guys to at least change, right? Which we're kind of seeing with the people that implemented this year, Richard Arnold, and got rid of Ed Woodward and all this stuff. So we're seeing a bit of change in a sense. Richard Arnold, I think there was an article that they're in talks, or they, I don't know if they've contracted it or anything. But the same people that are doing Real Madrid stadium, the architects that are doing their stadium, they're in contact with them to do Old Trafford. Now, there's a few issues with that. They wanna sort out one of the stands, but the problem is the train track. I think they can't get permission from the council because the railway, the train tracks are right there. So I don't know if they can go any higher. Now, they've already started painting at the start of the season, the front of the stadium. I'm not too sure what's happening with the leaking roofs and all that. I haven't seen any leaking roofs this season, from what I know. So I don't know if any of that is fixed. So the infrastructure is slowly changing. Maybe not as quick as Ronaldo wants it. Maybe it's not as quick as the fans want it and all that. But there's we saw at the start of the season a couple of months ago where there was plans to do a renovation of Old Trafford, and there was other talks to knock it down and rebuild it, which is it was a conflict between the fans about how you're going to knock down Old Trafford. It's a historical stadium and all that sort of stuff. So it looks like this is all we're all going to see in maybe at the end of the year or next year, in the next couple of years, if this is really true. We're not here protesting for the Glazers and all that because they're not just signing players. It's everything else. The dividends that they took out, 24 million or whatever, they could have used that for the facilities. This is another issue. Why aren't you putting the money into the facilities where you're taking it out, where we came fifth, not in European football? You're not getting the right managers in. You're not getting the players that the manager wants. So everything all comes, under that one package. But Ronaldo, I mean, you 500,000 a week. I'm pretty sure you can be like, you know what? Let me shout a jacuzzi. You know what? Let me get a few treadmills for the youngsters.
Really? A charity now for the football club that pays him.
I love the club. I love Manchester. Well, go then do something. But this is what I'm saying. With the facilities, I think slowly, and time will tell if the reports and all that are true about the infrastructure being improved. But other than that, Ronaldo has just said all this about the Glazers to try and get the fans a little bit on side. And just like you did there, Tony, instead of talking about what he's actually doing, you diverted to, but look what he's talking about. He's got this whole big platform and he's talking about the Glazers. We don't need you to talk about the Glazers. We need you to play football, not score 1 goal this season and score 2 goals in the Europa League.
Exactly. They want you to know about the Glazers.
Fair, of course. Fair talk.
And this is what I'm saying. Another thing, let me touch on a bit about the influence that he's had on some of the players. The young players, they don't even want to look at it. You guys, they don't want to take my advice or nothing. But when Cavani was here, all right, we don't talk about number 11, but number 11 took his advice, and the way he was moving on the ball and the runs he was making, very similar to Cavani.
Exactly.
So he was giving him training. He was literally telling him on the game, in the match, run, make this run, do this, do that, Rashford, do that. And he was helping the boys out. And let's not forget in the Champions League game where Bruno puts in a ball and it's going out for a goal kick because he miskicked it, and Ronaldo throws his hands up in the air, turns around to line up for the goal kick, and here comes Edison Cavani fighting for the team, zooms past, full pelt sprints, wins the ball back, and we create a chance. And this is when we're talking about leaders and people fighting for the club. He just wanted to get the fans on side. When this all comes out, everyone can divert straight away to, he's a Glazer out. Oh, look what he's talking about the Glazers. No, how about you shut up? You put your boots on.
Exactly.
You play football. It's 1
Exactly.
minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 90 minutes. You give us everything you have for the badge. Let's not worry about the facilities, the players, the footballers. If Mbappe comes now, does Mbappe all of a sudden lose his ability to play football because of the facilities? No, he's already got these players, already got the talent, right? Facilities, they're all playing on the same pitch, all playing on the same grass. Let's not divert where the real
conversation is in.
This was his exit video. It was his exit video, and it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, the football
I just
capital.
touch on that.
See, this question, sorry, Steve, Manny would have to come in here. Those guys have been waiting, and Steve Machado, they've been waiting just before, just before they start. Miss Melina, who's a very big friend of this show, we love you, Miss Melina, and you're here with us. We thank God for that. Up on my socials, it has all been Miss Melina, get back soon. So
yeah, I hope you're doing better,
Miss Melina, and I hope you're doing better. I spoke to her a couple of days ago. We love you, Miss Melina. Love for you. See, Manny, I'll come to you right now. You've heard what the football capital said. Do you agree with him in the same topic? Do you agree? See, is that interview? Why are people not looking at the bigger picture?
Exactly.
Why aren't they looking at the bigger picture, amplifying the message that there's decay in the club?
Borche's just mentioned it perfectly, and it's been mentioned by so many other people. The issues that have been going on with the club, with the way the Glazers have been running it, and the way the infrastructure is crumbling, it's been going on for quite some time now. And Ronaldo isn't exactly, a sort of a lightning rod to these things. The issue that I have, and I'm sure Borche will agree with me on this, is that if you the very first, at least, that Ronaldo should have done, and Stephen, I know you're going to agree with me on this very well, because I'm gonna. This is something which you will be very.
Steve always agrees with you.
Yeah, Stephen.
Not always.
I know he'll agree with. I mean, not always, but on this one he'll agree with me, because this segues into calling out hypocrisy, which he just did. Well done. Now, if he was that eager to, come back to Manchester United to make Alex Ferguson so happy, the very least he should have done for a player of his stature and supposed intelligence was do his due diligence on the club and the way everything was done, was going on over there.
Exactly.
Take a look at the facilities before joining in, and then come to a decision. You can't try to pull the wool over people's eyes by saying, "Oh, yeah, Fergie tugged at my heartstrings. I had to make an emotional return to Old Trafford. I do miss the fans. Yes, I might have tried to sign for Manchester City, but
why can't he be? Why can't it be that story? It's a legend of the club.
No. I'll tell you why. Never mind the fact that other United legends have gone on to play for the blue half of Manchester. I'm talking about Peter Schmeichel and, of course, Dennis Law.
Rooney wanted to.
Even Rooney wanted to go to Manchester City. So he's an hypocrite. We won't get into all that. I don't want to go into a shouting match with the football capital with Butcher, my friend. If not, we'll go into a shouting match with all that.
Yes, but here's the thing. It's the way Ronaldo went about it that was stupid. If Ronaldo is the type of person who insists on high standards for everything, and is the same type of person who, was promoting good nutrition at the Euros when he threw away that bottle of Coke at the press conference table and said, "Agua, drink water," or whatever it was, I don't know. He surely should have been smart enough to have done his due diligence and say, "Look, I mean, as much as I love Manchester United, this may not be for me." And at least we would have appreciated how honest it was, because you can't tell, someone you love them, and then, barely a few days or weeks later do something which effectively says you hate them. I'm sorry, that's not the way it works. And as I said, going back, without digressing further, the issues that have been plaguing Manchester United have been there for a long time, and it didn't need Ronaldo to sort of be that lightning rod. But again, this goes back to the whole Roy Keane saga with this time the Republic of Ireland, where he took it upon himself as this captain of Manchester United, where the standards at the time were so high and everything was done so professionally, to criticize the way everything was done with the Republic of Ireland, and also take a few pot shots at the then manager Mick McCarthy, and basically saying, I gave him a lot of suggestions and he didn't follow them, when we all know that with the cheese sandwiches in Holland, that was a big fat lie, because the day before the Holland match, they did have a full days worth of food planned out for them: a buffet breakfast, a buffet lunch, some cheese sandwiches as an optional snack if you're hungry, and then a full dinner with pasta, fish, chicken, and meat. This idiot got into a row with one of the assistant coaches.
Butcher, are you
kicked the
hearing
table.
this?
Yeah, this idiot got into a row with one of the assistant coaches of Ireland at the time. I believe it was Ian Evans. They called him Taff. And then he decided, I don't want to eat my meal with the team. I'm going to order some pizza and have it in my room. And then in his autobiography, he looks at McCarthy and says, you know I'm angry? We're playing Holland in a World Cup qualifier. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank won't be stuck in his room eating cheese sandwiches or a takeaway pizza. Well, neither were your teammates, Roy, but you chose to eat pizza in your room because you apparently got into a fight with one of your assistant coaches because things weren't to your liking. And again, we all know exactly what happened in Saipan. Mick McCarthy obviously had issues with a lot of the things coming to Saipan in time. Some of the kit and some of the skips, everything didn't come in time. That really was due to the fault of the postal service. Apparently, we all know the pitch wasn't really fit for training. It had a lot of issues, but that was also the fault of the people over there, although McCarthy could have done more due diligence. But they knew, everyone, including Keane, knew that Saipan was just a glorified holiday, a chance to try and, rest yourself, acclimatize before you move to Japan, to Izumo in Japan, and the real training starts. So, and also, before they moved, McCarthy gave an order that nobody, whether you were Roy Keane or Steve Staunton or Robbie Keane or Niall Quinn, nobody was supposed to give any interviews to the press. But apparently, he had already arranged to give a couple of interviews to the Irish journalists Paul Kimmage and Tom Humphreys for the Irish Times and the Irish Independent, talking about that. Yeah. Now, why couldn't he have had the sense to call them up and say, sorry, boys, I can't give the interviews because we've received an order and I can't do that. But he gave the interviews anyway. He criticized the facilities. He criticized implicitly the manager. He also made it crystal clear that he didn't believe that his teammates had the same drive and ambition as him. And that's why they accepted everything that as they were. Obviously, the manager was going to have a fit and say, sorry, Roy, you were out of order. And then Keane suddenly invents some sort of a lie saying that McCarthy accused him of taking an injury when that's not true, and then calls him every single name in the book. An effing C, an effing W, didn't rate you as a player, didn't rate you as a manager. You're not even English. Stick your World Cup where the sun doesn't shine. And McCarthy sends him home. And Brian Clough himself, I'll be very brief, I'll say this. Brian Clough said it brilliantly in an interview. Whether Roy believed that he was bigger than the club, the way Cristiano believes he was bigger than the club right now at present, or whether he's been allowed to believe that way, I don't know. But Mick McCarthy was right to send him home, just as Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United are absolutely right to get rid of Ronaldo and burn their bridges with him, because no one player, no matter what his stature is, has any damn right to expect to run the show. You're not there to manage. You're not there to be a lightning rod for the facilities and the organization for everything. You are there as a captain to play and nothing else. And that's how it's worked. And Stephen, I'm really sorry if I've talked my tongue off and shouted. I'd love to get you and Mr. Machella on. I've said my piece. Hopefully you've got my message.
Yeah, we've got your message clearly, Manny. And of course, Manny, you know me more than anyone here, apart from Steve, who is my closer friend down here. At least you know me. You know I'm a man of opinions. I love different people's opinions. I don't segregate. I don't discriminate against anyone's opinions. I love opinions. Even if no one says what I would like it to be my own opinion, I accept it. And my brother, I love your opinion, my brother. See, Steve, just give us a little bit of a moment, because Machala has been waiting in the line to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, Machala,
just quickly, Tony. I need to get going. But let me run 30 seconds.
Peace out, bro.
What Manny said there with Ronaldo not doing his due diligence and looking at the club before he arrived. He also had Bruno Fernandes there that he played with international. Diogo Dalot, Varane was there that he played with previously, and George Mendes is his agent, which is David De Gea's agent, and we had been players in the past where he could have said, "Hey boys, I'm looking to come back. How's all the facilities?" If that was the main issue, but that's a whole nother topic, anyways. But I appreciate you having me on. It's been a great chat.
Please shout out your channel. Just before you start that, please, Butcher. Just before you start that, please, guys, everyone in this chat here, please go to the football capital right now. Everyone who is in the chat, go to the football capital. and just watch his shows. Give him views, watch his shows. Just go there, click that link behind you, because
I'm going
this
there
guy
now.
knows football. Is one of the most humblest guys I've seen. He's a friend to one of my mentors, which is also Gunner. Of course, everyone knows that also Gunner has always been part of this my channel here. He supported me, and he has been a big brother to me.
Just sub,
Down
mate.
there is my very, very great mentor. I really love him, and of course, he does lots of shows with Aussie Gunner. So they're in a click. So please go to his channel. Watch him. He's a great guy. He brings in lots of guest appearances. I've never seen anyone who spends time doing his shows, doing lots of graphics. He does that. He's the man and the brain behind that. Butcher, the football capital, Krona. Please just shout out your channel, my big brother, man.
Yeah, before I do, I thought the wolves were coming out for me, Tony. I think everyone was on my side, man. I thought, what happened? Where's all the off?
Yeah.
Bro, I ain't on nobody's side with this Ronaldo stuff. I couldn't give a fuck.
But yeah, look,
Oh my lord.
thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, man. It was a great chat. Great also to meet some new people as well. Manny, good to talk to you on a stream for the first time as well, and my debut on your channel there, Tony. So thank you so much. Yeah, guys, look, Football Capital, pretty much on all the platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. I don't really use that. TikTok, every now and then we jump onto that. But yeah, the Football Capital, you'll see the logo, you'll see the name.
Nice.
Steve.
Yeah.
Thank
Please,
you so
guys.
much.
Please, guys, go
Go.
join. Please, guys, go
Steve.
join the channel, please.
Yeah, Steve. Can I
David, please wait. David, please wait. Please wait.
I don't want to say something to Steve, but he's gone.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I agree with everything he said.
Guys, David. Guys, David, who was here yesterday, has joined us again. So, David, you're welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Well, I didn't really want to come on and talk about Ronaldo. I was on my train. I've just been to the best stadium in London, apart from Wembley, the Emirates. You know that.
I
Tony?
saw you there.
Yeah.
I saw you there.
Yes. To be honest,
Man United women.
I thought I saw you there because you look like one of the stewards. And I'm not lying.
Oi.
No, I think
Oh my God.
Deji Spurs works there. I think Deji Spurs works there. I was going
No
to
fucking way.
I think he works there. I was going to take a photo, and he was looking at me as if he knew me. Anyway,
To be fair,
I just wanted to come
No,
on.
but why would you take? No, Deji Sports is my mate. I'm not
no.
like Rooney and Gary Neville.
You seriously think
that would
Deji
talk
Spurs
ill.
works is for Arsenal?
See, that's not a topic. That guy is my mate. Please, let's end it there. Please.
Anyway,
he's my mate.
I
please.
just wanted to come on and say, Man United ladies destroyed the Arsenal ladies. Your support was fucking shit, right? I was singing, "Is this the library?" to them, right? The stewards are shit. They kept telling me to sit down. I kept ignoring them.
Good, as you should.
No. You should stand up, seriously. And also, Ronaldo goes to Arsenal, right? Because I've forgotten your names again. I've forgotten the Steve. I was backstage. I heard what you said earlier on, and I agree with everything you say. Manny, obviously, I love you. Anthony, your opinions are always good. If Sports Capital's still watching this, I agree with him. Sorry, I didn't catch the new guy, and I'm not really anything. But if Ronaldo goes to Arsenal, he should play for the women, because I tell you what, you lot go on. No, you lot go on about Beth Mead being absolutely fantastic. Today, she was absolutely dog shit. So,
Okay. Guys, I'll come back to you, David.
Nah, literally, mate, that's all I wanted to come on and say, mate. That's literally all I
Are you serious, David? Oh, David, are you serious?
Mind you up.
I've been doing this since we're top of the table, mate. Come on.
Yeah. I just wanted to come on, wind you up, Tony. You know me.
With the glasses
I had my
with the glasses on. Okay, guys.
Pick the right time.
Steve will come to you. David, please, I want you to stay.
Okay.
Machala, this is for you. Answer that same question that I asked Manny. I need that question to be answered. Don't you think that Manchester United should be looking at the bigger picture in that interview? Just before we come into Arsenal.
Yes, but I honestly don't give a fuck, bro. It's not my club. If they want to get the Glazers out, then that's their fucking prerogative.
Exactly.
They're probably going to be around for a very long time. They're billionaires. They'll sell when they want to sell. Did Ronaldo say bad things in the interview? Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, I'm saying bad things like disrespecting the manager and shit.
Yeah, that bit. But
no, that's what I'm saying. There's in the interview.
David, let him talk.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Look, Ronaldo said good stuff in the interview. He said some bad stuff in the interview. There's stuff that people agreed with him on. There's stuff that people disagree with it on. The point is, I'm done talking about this Ronaldo shit.
About the guy, right?
He's leaving in January. He's leaving in January. Why do we care so much about this fucking guy?
No. See, it's not like we care about him.
Well, we do because we spent an hour and a half talking about him.
Listen. It's a big topic. It's a big topic.
We have a World Cup tomorrow.
Listen, Steve.
We have a World Cup tomorrow.
Listen, it's a big topic. Even in the World Cup, this would still overshadow part of the World Cup. It's a big topic. Talk Sports are talking about it. They're raking views. They're talking about all these things. So, and many other podcasts, not just here, all of them, even the Football Capital, talked about Cristiano Ronaldo today.
Yeah, because he's a Man United fan.
No, it's not about no. I'm a football fan. So we have to talk about
know.
It. We'll come to the World Cup. Me and you have a watch along tomorrow, innit? We have a watch along. So yeah, the World Cup will come in its good time and we'll start that up tomorrow. We'll still talk about the World Cup today.
And I wasn't trying to say like, oh, you shouldn't do this. It's your channel, bro. You can make Ronaldo. I'm just saying I feel like I've beaten the hell out of a dead horse. I've heard media coverage about this the whole fucking week. It's
draining. I've
reached the point of nihilism and boredom with this Ronaldo topic.
Stephen, did you see the show yesterday?
I don't know.
I was on with Tony yesterday.
Yeah.
There were 4 of us, and 3 of them was with you, Ronaldo out. I actually think Tony's a secret Ronaldo FC fan.
Oh my God!
Definitely is.
Hang on.
Are you serious?
As I said yesterday.
Are you serious?
Yes.
If you're a lover, no. If the same thing was happening to Messi, it's a big topic, and we're podcasters, and we have channels, and we want some views, and we want to talk.
But the World Cup's tomorrow.
Of course, we'll still talk about the World Cup.
Yeah,
of course, for the next.
Like what else? Okay, here's my question for everyone. Here's
Steve. Okay. Wait. Order here, please. Steve, did you do anything on your channel about Cristiano Ronaldo?
No, because I don't give a fuck.
No, not your Steve. I mean the other Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I talked.
You did something about it, right?
Does it piss me off? Like, it really
Good.
did.
And you own a channel, right?
I mean, I don't look. Yeah, I am a channel. Like, and I'm the Roy King thing.
And he's an Arsenal fan, Steve.
Like, I'm an Arsenal.
I'm talking to the other Steve now. Yeah, he's an Arsenal fan. So,
but
it's
here's the
football.
thing.
No, I'm just.
It's a big topic. I'm going to talk about
Steve.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Look, Roy Keane, right? For me, like, of course he backed Ronaldo. He did it to Fergie, didn't he? In MUTV, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did it. And what did he do? Get shoved out the door.
Same as
I
Ronaldo.
would love to see Ronaldo do that to Ferguson. I'd love it. He would be called on the plane to Qatar. Said, mate, don't bother coming back. Determine your contract. Writ by mission already.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like how Matt Busby once he sidelined a player back in the 50s when he first took over. One of the directors didn't like it, right? And then he took him when they went into the gents, he took him aside and said, "Don't you ever question my decisions again. I'm the manager."
Yeah.
Now it's to our director. Right? The manager has to have the power, right?
Yeah.
There's no one bigger than the club. As Ferguson said, as soon as you're bigger than the club, out the door. Simple
Exactly.
as that. And like I said before, right? What really wound me up right? And it's for a personal thing as well. You're moaning about your career in football to coming to an end. There's people in life that have to accept their life's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Wait,
Right?
whoa. How do you equate this with whoa?
Stephen, I agree with what Stephen says. I know that sounds really bad.
No. Sorry, I'm reacting too early. I'll let you finish. My bad.
Like, because have some bit of perspective. It makes it sound like it's the end of the. Like, everyone gets old. Everyone moves on. You could be a great pundit. You could be a great presenter. Right?
Yeah.
You could still work in the world of football, right?
Yeah.
You could be a coach. You could be a manager. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could still be involved in football. But taking it out on everyone, Rooney, Neville, Key, every single one of everyone that's said something about Ronaldo because he can't accept that his career in football is coming to an end. Right?
Exactly.
Hamilton's career.
I mean, he is struggling with that.
Yeah, but in the end, there's in F1, Hamilton's career is going to come to an end, but you don't see him bouncing off the walls.
He'll win the title next year.
Different people deal with things differently.
Differently.
Yeah, this is the thing.
I agree.
Hang on, Messi's coming to the end of his career, but you don't see him bouncing off the walls. Right? Ibrahimovic, this is what Ronaldo should do. Look at Ibrahimovic, right? When he's not on the pitch, he's there in the sub bench.
The guy who talks in a third person.
He cheers the team on. He cheers the team on. Right?
He does.
Okay, guys.
Hang on.
This Ronaldo issue is this is the end. Let's Steve.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's just for a personal thing. I need to accept some things in my life that are going to happen, right? And he's can't accept one little thing about football.
It's not a little thing though. It's been his livelihood for the past 20 odd years.
Still be afterwards, but just not playing.
Tony? Can I just pop in?
Yeah.
Steve at the top. Are you a United fan?
No, I'm a Newcastle.
He's a new.
That's why I don't give a fuck.
Tony, I'm gonna have to shoot, so I was gonna be on someone else's channel as well.
Okay.
Take care, Steven.
I said I'll come on first.
Yeah, Steve, please shout out your channel. Steve has been my friend. You know, it works closely with Manny. You know, most times these days. But Steve, you're always welcome to my show. I'm still fighting to bring you one-on-one to my show. Let's have a little bit of a nickel down
We're
there.
gonna make it happen. Like I said, go and subscribe to my channel, esteemed TV. We do Arsenal Premier League content. I do an F1 channel, esteemed F1. We do the F1 content. Obviously, the last race being tomorrow, and it's all to raise money and awareness for children's liver disease. Because, like myself, I've had liver disease. I was diagnosed at 6 weeks old. Right? I've had 6, God knows how many transplants. For anyone that doesn't know in the chat.
Yeah,
it's one of those things, and unfortunately, the doctors that have tried everything in their power to try and keep us going, they've told me my life doesn't have long.
Sorry to hear that.
Fucking hell.
Which is why when I saw this interview, I was fuming with it. To be fair, because. I'm struggling to accept that right now, and the only way I can get away from it is by coming on talking about football, and that's why I did.
No, I'm sorry, Steven. I like I said, bro, I had no idea. I didn't know that shit was going on in the background.
Mate, you don't. Of course, you don't. No one has to. Of course, you're not to be a psychic and know, are you? So. Like, it's one of those things. It is what it is, and I'll get to accept and face what's coming.
Stephen, you said some points.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
But yeah, Tony, thanks for letting us on. Manny.
Steve, always know that we always love you. You know I love you.
Steven.
You know, most times, man. You know, but with everything, how you helped Miss Melina, because Miss Melina, me and her are extremely close. You know, the way you helped her too and everything.
Tony's got an N on him. Steven.
Steven. Yeah. I like shortening your name. I'm sorry. But you know, keep doing your thing, and we're going to support you any which way possible. you know, and even after everything, definitely your station, your channel, you know, the legacy would always still live.
Yeah.
Definitely,
It will.
because I know that maybe you might be handing it over to someone else later
Maybe.
on. But
I'm
even that
discussing
person,
with
we're going to give that person 100% support whenever this thing happen. But whatever, Steven, always remember that we love you. That's one thing I always want you
100%,
to know.
bro.
And I'm still praying
Thank
for you.
guys.
Can I just say something, Stephen, before you go?
Yeah.
I know it sounds a bit morbid, but in a way, I
If
hope
it sounds morbid, don't say it.
No. I
It's
think you'll
fine,
understand.
fine.
In a way, I hope Arsenal win the league this season just for you.
Yeah, that morbid one. I love that one. That morbid one. I love that one.
Honestly,
I
mate,
need him to win the World Cup. I was on fuck.
God, fuck England. Fuck England. Fuck England.
Otherwise, I'm gonna try and prove the doctors wrong and prove a miracle.
I'd rather see
But there you go.
Arsenal win the Premier League than England win the World Cup.
But there you go.
Okay,
Anyone,
fair and
I don't
square.
care.
Fair and square. I'm starting to
Thanks,
think
guys.
that David is an undercover Arsenal fan.
Ah,
Okay,
look,
I'm
Steve,
gonna
thank
think
you.
Tony is an undercover Ronaldo FC fan.
Mate, and all
Okay,
I'm saying
Steve.
is I'm not on the Arteta in all out train anymore. So there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a big one.
Yeah.
I'll hold you to that standard, my brother. Take care of yourself,
I will.
man. Happy weekends to you.
Take care.
Yeah,
Cheers,
Steve.
Steve.
Take care,
Yeah.
Steve.
See, yeah, it's the four of us. See, I wanna move away from this Ronaldo. I've done part one,
I know.
I've done part two, and
Tony.
it's over. See,
Tony, we
let's
talked
go into
about
this
the game
World
that went
Cup.
on
See,
at
we have a
Liverpool.
goddamn World Cup starting tomorrow. It's a big one. Tomorrow, it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
See, Manny, thank God you're here. Steve Machala, I know this is your this is your specialty, the World Cup. You've been training for the World Cup. And see, yeah, we already have it. It's here. We have a match tomorrow. Qatar, Ecuador,
Yes.
opening the this
The tournament,
year's
yeah.
tournament. See, everyone. I'll start with Manny first of all. Manny,
Yes.
where does your loyalty lies? Where does it lie? In this tournament.
Big up, Manny.
England.
Why are your
I was born and
loyalties?
brought up there, supported
course.
England since 1990 and the whole Gazamania craze. Never stopped supporting them, never will.
Yeah.
And, that's sort of the way it is. For me, it's England. But I'll be honest. I mean, we're not going to... I don't believe we've got a chance of winning because I'm not too sure if we really have the quality in the squad. I mean, we're short
Or
of
the
left back
manager.
cover. Yep, goes without saying. But we are short of left back cover with Luke Shaw, the only recognised left back, and I'm sure David that'll make you quite happy. Unless of course the poor bugger.
No, well,
Unless of course the bugger picks up an injury, then you're going to be hopping mad. Yeah?
don't jinx it.
Don't speak it into
Manny,
existence.
if he gets an injury now, I'm
Do
coming
not
after you.
say the striker from Newcastle and his initials are CW and the word injury. Just please don't.
Alan Wilson injury.
Fuck me. Now it's gonna happen. Oh god.
Guys,
Right, Bobby will make it.
Manny was
Okay.
talking.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Anthony
Now-
Herbert, if you're still here, big ups to you. See, Anthony Herbert is a member of this channel. He's a big friend to all of you guys too. He just dropped me a super chat.
There you
Anthony,
go.
we love you, man. You know we love you,
Yep,
brother.
yep.
You know that, right? Big
Well
ups
done,
to you,
Herbert.
Anthony Herbert. Poo. 3-gun salute to you for that £2, nickel you just gave to us, man. God bless you. He says, big up panel and people in the chat. And to my members of this channel, Amy Baba, a Crest member, my friend Rohan Asangi, who is also a Crest member of this channel. He hardly comes around. He's from the UAE. He's my brother. He's not here. Big member down here. And of course, Miss Melina, who is a member, a Platinum Time member here. Big ups to you. Bag of a Platinum Time member here too. Big ups to you. See, yeah, let's go back to you, Manny, before we go to Steve and then David. See, you've just said, Manny, you've just said that England is where your loyalty lie in this tournament.
Yes.
Do you think the inclusion of Callum Wilson into that team should have been more effective than what an Ivan Toney would bring to that English team in the World Cup?
I think Who's playing that?
Not me.
I'd like both of you to mute.
It's from you, David. David, it's from you.
Is it?
Yep.
From what? Huh?
Okay, he's mute. It's from David.
You're taking the mickey, aren't you, Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, okay. Hello? 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 I'm still hearing it. It's an echo, right? Hello?
Now it's gone. So I think Southgate probably wanted to bring someone like Wilson, who lent a bit more in terms of all-round qualities to the striker role, because he already has his nailed-on strikers in Kane and Rashford. So maybe someone like Wilson can, offer a little bit more as an all-round player. And of course, with Tony, he is in every single way a goal poacher. He certainly has the knack of being able to show up at the right place at the right time. The only problem is, when you have people like that, would it really provide that much in terms of variety? Sometimes among your strikers, you want to have different approaches, different game plans. So I think the inclusion of Wilson is, I wouldn't call it a masterstroke. I wouldn't call anything that Mr. Southgate does a masterstroke, but it makes a lot of sense. And I will also say that, had Tony been picked and the whole betting scandal would have come out, what's the guarantee that Southgate wouldn't have told Tony, Ivan, sorry, son, we can't have this controversy hanging over us. You're going to have to pack your bags and leave. A bullet was dodged, by the way. So I think, not that that's the main reason why I'm happy that Ivan Toney didn't go. I just see the sense in, Wilson being picked. I just think what he's lent to Newcastle probably, impressed Southgate a lot more than what Toney could do. But look, Ivan's young. If he avoids a severe punishment for these activities, if he's proven guilty, of course, he should have a decent career in the game and have time to continue playing and maybe get selected for another tournament. But for now, I think Wilson's inclusion makes a lot more sense, and I'm okay with that personally.
You're okay with that? Good. We'll move down to.
You got a Newcastle fan over here. I'm surprised.
Yeah, definitely. No, because I was still, to still go back to him. But of course, we have Strasbourg Steve, who has become a new member of my show. My brother. Apart from him being a podcaster here with me, we have a show called Gunners and Max. Of course, he's also my friend. We talk every day, of course. So it's always good to have your friends also support you in your own show.
Yeah,
man. So Steve, bro, man, is a new member of our show. 3 Gonzalo to you. It's the normal thing I do. Poo. Goodness. We have a new member. Steve, Strasbourg Steve. Big ups to you, my brother. Thank you very, very much. I know I was to chop it up with you, after the show, because normally, we still talk time and time again. Thank you for becoming a member of my show, my brother. Yeah. David, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, you said you go boom, boom, boom 3 times. Well, today
yes.
Boom, boom for Arsenal and boom, boom, boom for Man United.
Okay, you and your agendas. No problem. Your agendas. Steve Machala, which team? Steve Machala, which team do you support for the World Cup? The World Cup matchup is starting tomorrow against Qatar versus Ecuador. So, what do you think, my brother? What do you think? And USA, then delve into that Ivan Toney column.
Yeah,
and that column stuff. Divide. Let's see what happens.
No, I'm USA first and foremost. I'm a rare exception where I'm country over club. But no, I am country over club, because when I first got into football in 2014 at the World Cup, the first ever team I fell in love with was the United States men's national team. So,
How did you fall in love with Newcastle?
On a messenger, I've just posted the link, so you could pop in if you want to.
Yeah, so I became long story short, David, I'll explain backstage. Long story short, I have a family friend that's from the area. That's from Newcastle, who bought me a shirt when I was a neutral fan. And he was like, "You're stuck with them." I was like, "Cool, all right." That happened about 5 years ago, but yeah. But no, I am country over. I'm also Polish, so I rep Poland. I have the Brazil shirt just because it's cool. I don't mind if they do well. I'd like to see Bruno Guimaraes win a World Cup, but I'm also German, Hungarian, and French, so I also like seeing them do well.
French Alsatian, right?
Yes, Alsatian. But yeah, no. First and foremost, I'm a fan of the U.S. So in the World Cup, whoever the U.S. play, I want to beat them, including Manny's England. But we won't. We won't. We'll finish bottom of the group. So it is what it is. Yeah.
You should have enough for Iran.
No, we won't. No.
To be honest, Stephen, you've got so many nationalities inside you. One of them's got to win.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So Steve.
Maybe Poland can.
So Steve, yeah. So do you prefer? Of course, I know he plays for Newcastle, but do you think you would take a Callum over Ivan Toney normally?
I think you can't go wrong with either one, in my opinion. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. And to be honest, I don't really know if it, again, my nihilist side of me, like, what does it really matter? Because we know Harry Kane's going to play every minute of every game, no matter how far England go or not. Like, it doesn't, to me, it's like maybe Callum Wilson will get some garbage time minutes against Iran or something. I don't know. Like, the only reason why Callum Wilson would play is if Harry Kane gets injured. Which he's been, he has like he isn't really an injury prone player necessarily. So like I don't know. I don't see Callum Wilson playing that much. I see Trippier as being the most important Newcastle inclusion to England because I think he's nailed on right back.
Yeah.
But any of you guys disagree?
Because David will be going soon. So David, just tell us who you support. What's your prediction for the game tomorrow?
England, I know that.
For the game against Qatar against Ecuador
United
tomorrow.
Fans
Give your
don't like
prediction for
England.
that match. And just say your goodbyes and tell us where people can find you.
Yes, so I'm supporting Fred, Anthony, Casemiro,
So the players.
Wire, Shaw, Bruno, Dallo, Hannibal, Palestri.
Hannibal
Varane.
for Tunisia, yeah?
Yeah. I'm not supporting Ronaldo. I'm not supporting Teles. I'm sure there's a couple I've forgotten. I'm supporting the United players, but in all honesty, England's group, or whatever group it is, Group B, top is going to be the USA. Second is going to be Iran. England will finish bottom, and in the other group, Brazil will finish bottom.
I have England third.
Yeah, no. Now Wales will beat us. Yeah, Wales will beat us. Yeah, it won't matter anyway. All the United players will be getting knocked out in the group stages. So Holland, Argentina,
oh my God,
they'll come back.
I got Netherlands winning it all.
Yeah, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna shoot. It's been a long ass day. So Anthony, thank you for having me on. Manny, love you.
Sure.
Stephen, nice meeting you.
Yeah, great meeting you too, brother.
Yeah.
What's your prediction for the game tomorrow? Just a quick one before you go.
7-6 to Qatar.
7-6.
Bugger off.
To be fair, that would be
fine. Okay, sorry, Manny. Okay, 7-6 to Ecuador. Fine.
See, David, if this was old England, you would be hanged for treason.
What, for not supporting England? Ah, well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
Thanks, David. Thanks for coming on to the show, man.
Fuck the Arsenal.
Okay, bye-bye, David.
I'm gonna let you go. Manny, if you can give Stephen my Instagram details.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And to the new guy, I don't know you, but take it away.
Yeah, that's Onome. Okay. Onome Soje, you're welcome to the show. He's my friend. Also, from England and Nigeria too. So, of course, he's down here with us. Onome, you're welcome to the show, my brother.
Happening, man. You good?
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good, man. We're just talking about the World Cup. Who are you I know that Nigeria is no more in the it's not in the picture.
No more
The
Super
last
Eagles.
time the last time we were Super Eagles, we showed up against Portugal, and you know what Fernandez did to us? He ripped us a new one, and disgraceful. But you know what? That's out of the picture. See, who are you supporting? Where does your loyalty lie in this World Cup starting
It's
tomorrow,
a
my brother?
neutral. Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
as
it,
a neutral.
you know what it is? It would just be nice to see the England team all come together and play together. Do you know what I mean? These are
Yeah.
a bunch of individuals from different teams that everybody watches every day. We watch them all the time in the Premier League. As much
Yeah.
as everybody wants to support Brazil and support everybody else, the England team is what we can all relate to. We know who all the players are. We know all their capabilities. So it'd be nice to see them put on the England shirt and perform at the bigger stage. Most of them is their first World Cup. Do you know what I mean? We've got a lot of young players. Is their first World Cup. Bukayo, Phil Foden, Bellingham. It should be very interesting to see Bellingham play. So it would be nice to just see them come together, see the team that is picked, just see how they perform. So it's exciting to actually just watch them play. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to support England. But at the end of the day, we're gonna obviously see the likes of Brazil and see all our great players play, the likes of Messi, see all our great players play. But the team that we're gonna be obviously watching is England. I mean, it's a competition where we're not gonna be watching every game. Do you know what I mean? You're not gonna watch every game. The games
I will.
I know I'm gonna watch all the England games. I'm gonna watch, a lot of the Brazil games, but the English games, you want to see these guys just perform at the World Cup and just see the
Exactly. You want to see it come home.
Wait. I have a question, actually. Are you one of these people that want to see African teams do well?
Of course I do. Of course
Okay,
I do. Of course
that's
I
a
do.
big one.
I mean,
That's a big one. Thanks, Steve. That's a big one.
If Nigeria was in the tournament and stuff, that's where obviously my loyalty
Obviously,
will lie first. You know what I mean?
Soja, you have to be careful with this one. That's a trap.
No. I definitely want to see the African.
It's a trap. It's a big one.
I want to see how Senegal carry on from winning the Nations Cup for sure.
Okay.
Mane is going to be a big miss. Do you know what I mean? I'm gutted that he's actually going to miss the tournament because it'll be nice to watch him. Like I said, the familiarity of players that I watch on a week in, week out basis, I want to see them perform at this bigger stage. And most of these players that you watch are in the English teams, obviously. Obviously, you get the other teams where you get one or two players that you watch in the Premier League and that. But the main team that has a lot of the players that we know that perform every week in the Premier League is England. And that's where you're going to be watching these guys and going, oh, wow, he's starting this person or he's starting this person. I mean, I'm excited to see Bellingham play at the big stage.
But will it sit down with you if you see another African country progressing into the semifinals?
Let's say it's Tunisia, England. Would you rather see Tunisia win or England?
Ooh.
I'd rather see Tunisia win because I like an underdog story, and also I think it would be. I know Manny wouldn't because he's an England fan.
Manny has reservations to that, of course.
Well, because he's an England fan.
He's an England fan. It's English, so of course.
I want to see England go far in the tournament. I mean, it's gonna
be. So you'd rather see England beat Tunisia in a knockout game?
You know what it is? I'm not gonna say I don't know any Tunisian players, to be honest.
Wabi Kazri.
Like I said, I don't know any Tunisian players like I know the English players.
Hannibal Mabry.
I would definitely want England to do well in the tournament. However, do I think they're going to do well? They're carrying a lot of injured and not
out of form players.
Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a very difficult tournament for them. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you got the likes of Maguire who's not been playing and stuff. How's it going to?
Eric Dyer is crap.
Yeah, exactly. See, Manny, I want to bring you in here, Manny. Of course, I know you have an MBA. That's a big one. It's a big shift on what we're talking about in terms of administration and all that, all that stuff. So I just want to ask you, the Qatar, this footballing event, the biggest footballing event, it's been held in Qatar at this time. You're an administrator, at least with that degree. See. How would you classify how do you see the administration of this Qatari World Cup, do you think everything is going to be in order? Because number one, administratively, I've seen already bottlenecks. Already, they're already saying they won't sell alcohol during the game. We're used to World Cups being filled with alcohol because that's what fuels I don't want to say animosity, but fuels the excitement in these players most times. And of course, when you come into an Islamic state, of course, Qatar is an Islamic state. So when you come into that state, you have to definitely follow the rules and regulations. And part of the rules and regulations is that there is no alcohol in that stadium unless you are part of the bourgeoisies who are at the top hierarchy, who have spent in a special box about 19k pounds for that special box in Qatari stadiums, up to 8 stadiums that they're using. Administratively, does this look like any kind of like discrimination to you, rich versus poor? And generally, how do you see it in terms of administratively?
No, it's actually nothing to do with discrimination. And let me also, as someone who's also lived in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, which is probably the most restrictive country in the entire GCC area, air my thoughts. It's the largest country, of course. It's also home to the 2 holy mosques in Mecca and Medina, those 2 holy cities, yes? So as guardians of that Islamic faith, that country has been, especially during the time I lived there when I was in my adolescent years, I think, extremely conservative AF. You couldn't get alcohol unless you had the good fortune of being able to go to some of these special military compounds, which were in fact inhabited by American expatriates who have either served in the military or who are doing some work over there. So alcohol was not easy to get in any way. And in any cases, in public use, it is considered taboo. Other countries like the UAE and maybe to some extent, Bahrain, I don't know too much about Qatar, they've been slightly lax, but you could also say that they've been trying to sort of maintain that balance between, staying true to their, conservative, simple Islamic values and also trying to be hospitable to people who want to come in and have a good time. The problem is, wherever there is alcohol, in football circles, there will be hooliganism. And I don't know how, by the way, brother, you just came in. What's your name?
Onome
Soldier.
So I don't know how old you are, but obviously I'm old enough to remember that in the 80s, hooliganism in England was a problem, especially during the Hazel disaster, which robbed English clubs of the opportunity to compete in European competition for a long time. Whether it was even in the early 90s, we still had some issues with it. Heck, even in the Euro 2020 final, we experienced the worst of it with England fans rushing into Wembley Stadium and making an absolute nuisance of themselves. And invariably, Tony, alcohol is the thing which fuels it. Of course, there are some idiots who won't even need alcohol to act.
Coke also. Like that.
Oh, that Coke. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
But he's got Coca-Cola.
So listen, so that's the thing. You don't need these intoxicants to, create a nuisance. Some idiots are so stupid they'll create a nuisance however they want to, but it cannot be denied that these intoxicants are a bit of a factor. So the idea of banning alcohol at these stadiums, unless you are one of those bourgeois privileged people, is actually more than decent business, because if you're willing to pay king's ransom to have a box seat and enjoy alcohol, you are sensible enough, at least in theory, to enjoy it responsibly. And of course, let's say you do get a box seat and you start behaving stupidly, you're going to go from a box seat to a box prison cell. Quicker than you can say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Very quickly.
Gunned up in Glock quick.
Exactly.
And they don't play there. Once you make
once
you make any, they don't care if you're American. In fact, they want you as that American to go into that jail cell. So welcome to the show.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. so it's not discrimination, it's decent business. The only issue I have is the way they made a promise that alcohol would be available at the stadiums, only to apparently backtrack and say, no, we're not going to have it at the stadiums, but there will be these fan areas or fan zones, if you will, where alcohol will be served. I assume that, I presume rather, that those areas will also be quite heavily supervised. Anyone engaging in any kind of nonsense will be, thrown into the nick.
Dealt with.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, that isn't an issue I have. And, I think I might want to bring Steve into this, because all the stuff about, the alcohol and the food you get, the drinks you get when you go to a game in America. I lived in Florida for 6 years. I've been to the Raymond James Stadium twice to see.
Well, you've been everywhere, man. You lived in England. You grew up in England, lived in Saudi Arabia, lived in Florida. Wow. Interesting.
What can I say?
You're Mr. Worldwide.
Round, round, get around. I get around, yeah. Get around. Woo! Okay, enough's enough. Now, so listen, I think a lot of people might view the idea of, all of the stuff that comes with an American sports experience as sort of, the trimmings, if you will. But the main thing is the game. And I always believe that, when you have some quality sports action over there and you're a true connoisseur of the game, you don't really need all these side attractions. I've never truly understood the idea of having cheerleaders at American games, for instance, although that's another...
Because sexy women sells, bro. That's why.
Well, you're not going to get that in the Middle East, homie. No chance of that.
I know. Well, but you said in America. I know why it doesn't in the Middle East.
I get that. But, again,
Sex
when it comes to but when it comes to the issue of alcohol, I think... the administration for the World Cup in Qatar have done their jobs. Obviously, they have a responsibility to ensure they maintain their culture. The issue of LGBTQ thing is another thing altogether. I really don't want to get into that. I will say that, as much as they frown on open, sexuality, open homosexuality, they also do. They frown on open heterosexuality too. Even
public
in the
display
UAE,
of affection is there.
Exactly. Even in not so much displays of affection. I mean, they do have the double cheek kiss, the traditional Arabic mode of greeting. So that's not so much. Really, if it's
that's a greeting. It's not meant to be affection.
But if it's gratuitous, then you get thrown in the nick. And even in the UAE, there was a case where 2 British people were accused of supposedly consummating their love on a beach in the UAE, and they were thrown in prison for quite some time. And then they ended up getting deported. The worst part is they ended up losing.
Man, he said consummating,
fornicating.
The choice of words, the diction itself.
I have to keep it PG.
I know.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, they're strict on everything. They crack down on everything. The biggest issue I have is that, like, when it comes to administration, obviously, there's the issue of course, the migrant workers whose working conditions were absolutely pitiful. And therein lies the discrepancy and dichotomy of living and working in the Middle East. If you have the qualifications where you get to work where you get to do some of the top-notch jobs, you will be promised a really good salary, which is, of course, tax-free. You can live the life of Riley. But if you don't have the qualifications, if you're coming there as a laborer, it has been proven that several of the people who are working over there had very poor conditions, and they were living in poor conditions. Many lives were lost. So, you are basically depending on those people to build your stadia for the tournament. You have a responsibility to treat them responsibly. I mean, even in the UAE, from what I hear, at least, the workers over there would have been treated at least marginally better. Although even there might have been a few cases. I don't know. So when it comes to administration, segueing back to your question, Tony, there are a few things that they've done correctly, but there are a few things that they haven't done correctly at all. And it is the responsibility of people who love the game and who want to see it run as an efficient business model to take a look at everything holistically and say, there are some things you've done wrong and we have a right to criticize them. And yet, knowing all these players as well as we do, criticism won't be delivered because the people at the end of that will not accept that. And of course, when money talks, everyone shuts their mouth and it's in their box. So there are a lot of issues over here, which is why I'm not so much excited about the World Cup as I normally would be. I mean, maybe I'll watch a few games, but it'll be sort of muted in terms of my enthusiasm. The same way as it was in 2010 in South Africa for certain reasons. But I mean, there's still a lot that should have been done better. There should have been a lot that done correctly. But I think, in summation, I will say this: if I never ever see a World Cup being held in the Middle East again, it will be too soon.
Yeah, sure,
Fair.
of course. Yeah, fair and square. See, I want us to get a cross section of the big teams in this World Cup. Which teams, at least to all of you, because soon we'll be closing up the show. Which teams are the biggest teams in this tournament? Forget the names. I'm talking of the teams that have the players, the capability in terms of personnel in this World Cup. So who should we be watching out for?
For me,
I'll start from you, Steve.
For me, teams to look out for.
Sojay, then Manny.
Teams to look out for. You've obviously got like my favorites.
The Netherlands.
Yeah, well, no, not favorites. I'm talking betting wise. It's going to be Netherlands, Argentina, France, and whatnot. But those teams, they're good, yeah. But to be honest, the teams that I'm looking out for are teams like Netherlands, Denmark. I think with the weather in Qatar, I think there could be an Asian team that makes a very, very strong run in this. Like, for example, I actually have Qatar. I think they'll get out of the group. Like tomorrow, I think they'll beat Ecuador probably 2-1.
Really?
Yeah, because this Qatar team is actually pretty decent, mind you. Qatar in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, I didn't expect anything of the team because I haven't heard of them. I didn't know any of their players. I knew nothing. They got out of a group with Grenada, El Salvador, and there was one more team, but they advanced. 9 goals scored, only one goal conceded. They then went on to beat another team. They eventually made the CONCACAF Gold Cup semifinal against the United States. They lost 1-0, but they outplayed us at home for 86 minutes. They outplayed us, and they're a very good side. They won the AFC Asian Cup in 2019. They had to go through a route consisting of Saudi Arabia in the group stages, who they finished above, who are a World Cup team. They beat Iraq in the round of 16. They then beat the UAE, South Korea, and Japan en route to that AFC Asian Cup final. So this is a decent tournament team. They have benefited from naturalizing citizens, fine. But to be fair, I'm an American. We have a lot of players on our team who are naturalized citizens. So I can't knock them for having naturalized citizens on their side. But no, this Qatar team, I think, could do some damage. Not like win the World Cup or anything, but it's a host country. Host countries historically do well at the tournament, home advantage and whatnot. They'll be used to their climate, which is very different from other climates. And I think that a lot of things there's gonna be a lot of craziness in this World Cup, a lot of craziness, and it probably signifies if I were to tell someone how crazy I think this World Cup is gonna be, I'll present to you. I think there is a very high chance it's a Netherlands-Denmark World Cup final. That's how crazy things can get, because the fact that this tournament is at this time of year, which is unprecedented. It's in the Middle East with this kind of weather, with this kind of players in form, injuries. I mean, Benzema's just gotten ruled out for the whole World Cup for France just now. Benzema is out.
He's out.
And I said France will go out in the group stages.
Are you serious?
Yes, France will go out in the group stages. I have no confidence in them.
Okay,
so,
good.
I'm excited for the World Cup in terms of I think there are going to be a lot of upsets. A lot
of them, right?
Because it's an unusual World Cup.
Steve, a quick one before we go to Sojay to say something to us. Qatar, Ecuador. What's your prediction for that match? Hello?
He can't hear you, I don't think.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
He's
Hello?
not saying anything. He can't hear you.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
Can
you
you
hear
me?
Tony's question?
Yeah, he's not
Hello?
talking to me.
Hello, Steve. Steve, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Yes, you can hear me. Good and okay. What's your prediction for this match? tomorrow?
I'm sorry. I thought you were asking him. I'm sorry, because I
No,
gave
no,
my
no.
prediction for Qatar, Ecuador. I said two. I'll take 2-1 Qatar tomorrow.
Okay, 2-1.
2-1.
Qatar tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Almoez Ali and Afif will score, and then for Ecuador, not sure who's gonna score for Ecuador.
Who's gonna show
They have a
up?
big target man. I forget his name at the moment, but yeah, I think it'll be a Qatar win.
Qatar win, right? Good, good, and okay. Okay, so Jay, I'll go down to you on a man right now. Who are the dark horses in this World Cup?
For me, I think it's going to be as basic as everything has always been. Brazil's got a very, very, very strong squad. Do you know what I mean? And there's just something about Brazil when they get together and play. There's just a magic that they produce, obviously.
Yeah.
Argentina are up there. With Argentina coming off the back of winning a trophy, they've got that taste now of it. Do you know what I mean? And I think they're going to do well, as always. Germany, you know, the big teams are still the big teams. You know,
I'm not sold on Germany personally, but fair enough.
The big teams are still the big teams. You know, I just worry about England, who are supposed to be one of them ones up there now, just because of the informed players and the injuries that they take into the World Cup. That's the only reason why I worry about England. Otherwise, England would be up there. But do I think England's going to get out of the group? Absolutely, comfortably, they are going to get out of the group. But when it comes to the players playing and the weather conditions and stuff, everybody's going through the same heat or the same cold. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it favors.
But the Asian nations, to be fair, are going to be more used to it.
Yes, they're going to be more used to it, but then the quality of the players now still comes into play. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
No matter whether
I just think it could be a match. I think it could be a leveler.
For sure, it could be a leveler.
It could be a leveler.
I can't see how Brazil would struggle against an Asian team just because of the weather, or it will not become that much of a leveler between
not necessarily a Brazil.
Germany.
Not a Brazil, more of like a Switzerland or
Denmark.
For
them to do that well, they still have to get past the likes of Brazil. They still have to get past the likes of big teams. Yeah. It's like right now, for you to win the cups, for you to win the FA Cup, you have to get past the likes of Liverpool. You have to get past the likes of Man City to win these cups and stuff. So you still have to beat these teams no matter what the conditions are. So when it comes to the latter stages of the competition, when you qualify for your group, you're going to meet these big teams there. You know what I mean? You can't say that, the big teams are not going to just come out of their group and it's just going to be the small teams that progress and stuff. The big teams are going to be up there. And
it'll be a mix.
Have to beat them.
It'll be a mix. There will be one. Do you think there's going to be at least one big team?
There's going to be one or two
who flop.
There's always casualties. There's going to be a big team that's like,
exactly. There are always casualties, definitely.
Germany, for example, 2018. We look at their group, Colombia, or not Colombia, sorry. It was what? South Korea, Sweden, and Mexico. That's what it was. Right? And they only beat Sweden and they finished bottom, and everybody thought Germany were gonna. So yeah, you're right.
It's just gonna be exciting to like I said, for me, the familiarity of the players I watch on a regular basis, I just want to see them perform at this stage. Do you know what I mean? I want to see what Phil Foden is going to do as a Man City fan. I want to see how he performs.
Phil Foden,
do you know what I mean?
He deserves to start.
See, I'm all up for Manchester City players, playing across this World Cup. I want them to play with their full energy.
I know you do.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this right now. Go through our team. We have pretty much everybody playing in the World Cup, and they're not just playing in the World Cup.
You have 10 of your first 11 playing in the World Cup,
they are starters. So I'm literally dreading it. I'm so scared, thinking, who are we going to have left when they come back? Because we need to kick on again from the Premier League. We're 5 points behind Arsenal,
right? And we've got all these players starting the World Cup. It's like Kevin De Bruyne starting the World Cup. Oh my God, Kevin De Bruyne got glass ankles. He twisted his ankle one time. He's like, oh Lord. Do you know what I mean? So we've got all these players starting the World Cup. It's like, oh.
Imagine Kevin De Bruyne twisting his ankle and Phil Foden having an injury.
I want to touch on a point, right? I want to touch on a point, right? I just want to touch on a point quickly, right? You mentioned something earlier on about Ronaldo went missing for 10 games and when we needed him the most and stuff like that, right? In a big team, in your team, right? You can, obviously some teams do, you know, but you cannot just rely on a player. And if that player goes missing, all of a sudden, do you think if Haaland not scoring goals, do you think that's going to affect Man City scoring goals? I mean, they scored 99 goals last season without Haaland. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the game, I can't remember the game we played when Haaland didn't score. I think he scored the third goal. But prior to that, or the fourth goal, prior to that was 2-0 up or 3-0 up. You got to have different ways of playing and not just rely and say, right, he's not scoring goals, that's going to now affect us. You've got to have different ways of playing and different ways and different methods of scoring goals. You can't just rely on just the one player.
That's England's. That could be England's Achilles heel, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Too much reliance on Harry Kane and Sterling. Who else is going to
score? And when Harry Kane's not scoring, it's a big problem. You know, it's a massive problem.
Manny, do you agree with that? Oh, I think Manny's on mute.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. So I got your question. So. Yeah, so the question you were asking was if Harry Kane doesn't score, will England not
over-reliance on Sterling and Kane for goals and performances and whatnot, yeah.
Not really. I mean, look.
Who else do you see as a goal threat in this England team, I guess?
Marcus Rashford, simple. I mean, he made his name in Euro 2016, of course, when he came on as a sub against Wales and, of course, scored the winner in that game. And we knew that he was going to be an asset for England. And, we picked a squad for that particular reason. This is going to be their opportunity to, really shine if Southgate gets his subs right. But we know Southgate actually lost the final by making his subs far too late in the Euros. He should have brought Grealish on in the second half and not.
He was reactive and not proactive.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Because, that's the thing. So we do have some competent strikers in the squad. We do have people who are capable of scoring. The only problem is, under Southgate, I don't see them getting used too often. And that's why after this World Cup, especially if we don't make the semi-finals, if we get out early, he's got to walk. I'd like to see someone like a Thomas Tuchel come in and really, shake the guys.
Even Poch has thrown his hat into the ring for that.
Yo, you know what would be an interesting appointment for England? If you guys, because everybody says we want to see the attacking talent of England unleashed. Why don't you bring in a guy like Bielsa? I know he's not defensively great, but seriously, it's like if people want
it will be dead on arrival. That would be the problem. The media would even end it before it even comes in.
No, but I know he's Argentinian, but bro, England have hired Italian manager.
No, it's not about where it comes from. It's a style of play.
Attacking.
The English people are very footballing minds. They would not agree for Bielsa to come in.
I think no matter what England does in this World Cup, Southgate will walk.
If they win it?
Yes, he will walk.
Wow, really?
Wow, are you serious? That's a big one, man.
Interesting.
I think Southgate will walk even if they win the World Cup. I think he's that kind of a manager. Wow. And this is his last hurrah for the country. He doesn't feel the love that he should be getting or he deserves and stuff. I mean, the last two tournaments is done very well for England. Come on. Do you know what I mean? Is giving the nation some joy in the last two tournaments. But I don't think he feels going into this tournament now. I mean, they were getting what's the game? Was it Italy? They were getting booed and stuff before. He had to play Harry Kane. That's why Tony didn't come on. He was literally fighting to stay in the job. You know what I mean? That's why he had to play Harry Kane and he had to get something out of the game. And it was like a desperate game, but it was a friendly. Do you know what I mean? It was a friendly. Yeah. He should have brought Tony on that game, but he couldn't bring him on because he's like, this is not a time when I'm going to try players. I've got to play the tried and trusted. That's why I had to play Harry Kane for the 90 minutes because he was literally fighting to get the fans to back him and stuff. So I think he will walk whether England win the World Cup. And I would love for him to walk. If England wins the World Cup, which is going to be difficult, I would love for him to walk on a high to say, thank you very much.
To be fair, that if you do go out on a high.
Go out on a high, and mind you, is the only manager since the 1960s
Ronaldo could have benefited
to
from
actually
that,
take England
going out on a high
major final in Europe. Let's see, but you know what? Let's just go out of all those stuff. Talking about strikers, you guys were talking about strikers. We'll soon close the show anyway in like about 5 minutes time. But see, yeah, talking about strikers and my dark horse for this tournament, Serbia. Serbia has Mitrovic, who plays for Fulham, and for some reason you guys have not actually touched on the topic of a Vlahovic in that strike force for Serbia. Mind you,
very good player.
It's a very, what are you saying is an elite player for me. That's for me personally. He's been the one helping Juventus, even if that team is actually having a drop-in right now in the table in the Italian Serie A. He's been one of the only ones that have actually helped them this season. So,
to be fair, Juve have won 5 straight in Serie A. They picked up their form. I do just think it's a purple patch, but
something like that. But mind you, Serbia in the World Cup now have Vlahovic and Mitrovic spearheading their attack.
It's a very good strike force.
Valid dark horse in this World Cup. Manny.
I don't. No. Because here's the thing. Apart from Vlahovic and Mitrovic, they only have one more striker in their squad. 3 strikers in their squad. Something like 13 midfielders. They're light at the top and exceptionally heavy in the middle and at the bottom. You cannot go through an entire tournament with just 3 strikers. What if either of those 2 gets an injury?
If you play with a front 2, yeah.
Yeah, what if either of them were to get an injury? I'm sorry, but, you know, I think the Serbian coach, Dragan Stojkovic, who was, of course, a star player for the then Yugoslavia in this day, has obviously preferred to, you know, hedge his bets on having a very strong midfield with a lot of midfield cover. Maybe some of those midfielders could play up front. I don't know the whole story. But it looks as though if Mitrovic is expected to lead the line all on his own, because Stojkovic might end up playing a 4-5-1, again, I really don't know if Mitrovic can, you know, keep his fitness levels up. If he can, good. But if you've got Vlahovic and Mitrovic up front and only one striker to replace them, I'm sorry, but that's poor squad planning. I don't see Serbia going too far. I think Switzerland seem to have a much classier, well-rounded team in all formats. Obviously, they've got Embolo and Seferovic as their strikers, and 2 more strikers as cover, 3 more, I would say. And then, of course, you've got Granit Xhaka and Xherdan Shaqiri in the midfield. Rodriguez, of course, will be marshalling that defense. And Jan Sommer, they've got one of the best goalkeepers in Europe.
Fabian Schär.
Yes, I'm sorry, I forgot about Fabian Schär. In the defense.
And it's a defender. It's a defender.
Yep.
And wonderful partnership in that Newcastle, in the heart of the Newcastle defense this season.
Oh my God, he's been sensational.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been a beast. Okay, You know what? We're about to close the show right now. But just before we close the show, 3 of you would give us your
World Cup winners.
Your prediction on who's going to win the World Cup.
Steve, World Cup winners.
Steve, why are you still talking about the Premiership? Well, it's a World Cup season. Why are you talking about the Premiership? So you still not smelled the coffee yet. You've not smelled the hypocrisy yet, right?
Oh, he didn't say anything. I said
he hasn't smelled it yet. No, you were the one that was whipping everyone about the talk of Ronaldo. And now you want to still go back to the Premiership?
No, I didn't.
No, I said top 4. I thought you.
Yeah, Anom said that.
Okay. I want to get at him so bad that I've shut myself in the foot. But it's okay. It's all right. Sorry, Steve.
It's all good. It was funny. You're good.
Okay, good. Now, I'll start from Manny. Manny, who's going to win the World Cup? Your prediction, please.
Well, if it's not England, I'm going for Argentina. I think they've come into this tournament with an amazing unbeaten record. They've got a quite well-rounded team. Probably not so much a very attacking team like the Argentinian teams of yore, but I think Lionel Scaloni has done a good job in trying to get the best out of them. Copa America winner beating Brazil in the final. He can get the best out of Angel Di Maria. And of course, when you got Lionel Messi in your team, you know that there will be chances created. You know that the play will flow. And of course, at the back, their defense looks solid. And of course, they've got their ex-Arsenal goalkeeper in Emiliano Martinez, who I believe will use this tournament to cement his reputation as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Gianluigi Donnarumma, pa!
Man, ladies and gentlemen, Manny Tangadroy, my guy. See, yeah. Steve, what's up? What do you think? The overall winners of the competition for you.
I got the Netherlands. They've got all the ingredients. They've got a fantastic manager. They've got a number 9 that can bang in goals in the form of Memphis Depay, who has a very good record for the Netherlands. About, I think, it's 83 caps, 41 goals, something of that ilk. As long as he's fit and healthy, you've got that. You've got, they got that going for them. Steven Berghuis is in form, relatively speaking, for Ajax. Bergwijn as well kind of struggled, but when they play for the Dutch, Van Gaal has really gotten a tune out of the Netherlands. 15 games unbeaten now, ever since they lost to the Czech Republic in Euro 2020. So, yeah, I and that's the second best unbeaten run, only behind the mighty Argentina, who's at 36. So, I really like the look of the Dutch. I think defensively they're just very, very stout. The midfield's got a lot of talent. I like the physicality that they can bring, but also the technical prowess. They can win games in many different ways. And I think ultimately this is, like I said, it's going to be an unusual tournament. I know the Dutch aren't everyone's favorites to win, and they're not my favorites. I just think they will win it. I see them having a very, very good tournament. So I'll take them to win. I think they've got all the ingredients.
Argentina and now the Netherlands. Onome Soje, chime in on this, my brother.
I'm going for Brazil. I just think
it has to. Me too. I'm pitching my tent with Brazil too.
I just think that they have the attacking talent. They've got Casemiro in midfield as well, but they've got the attacking talent in Vinicius Jr.
An informed Casemiro.
They've got somebody that I call these type of players. They sweat in the tunnel before they even come out. He works hard. Do you know what I mean? So they've got the talent and they've got the hard work as well.
Bruno Guimaraes as well. He's massive addition to that midfield.
Richarlison for Brazil is a different animal as well.
Yes, he's very good. He can play off the wing
Neymar for Brazil. Neymar when he plays for Brazil is a completely different Neymar to when he plays for.
See, in the big games, I disagree because he'll flop around, and I think he makes a complete mug of himself in the big games for Brazil.
At the end of the day, he creates chances. Do you know what I mean?
He does.
But I just think Brazil is going to have too much for everybody. And if they get the draw that they need on their path to the final, if they get the that draw that you get where you avoid a lot of people, and that's why you got to commend Real Madrid, for example, where when they won the Champions League, the draw that they had, beating all these big teams, you got to literally go, right, you know what, it's not an easy draw.
You deserve that, and then some.
If they get the draw that they need to go to the final, I think Brazil takes this.
They'll take advantage of it, essentially.
Good and okay.
Guys. I would love to see England go as far as possible because I want to stay interested in the World Cup and watch as many games,
as many games as possible. On the message, thank you, man. You shut yourself out at the end of this program. See, everyone, thanks for joining us today. Manny, I know you've been tired. I know it's been a tiring day for you, but thank you. I could always count on you at any time. Thank you for showing up to the show, the football capital, wherever you are.
Thanks for having me. Listen, I've wanted to vent my spleen on the Ronaldo issue, and I'm glad I got a platform to do it. So thank you very much indeed. It was wonderful. I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, sure. And the football capital, wherever you are, you should be at church now. Thank you for gracing the show today. And my brother, Steve McCalla, thank you very much for coming
Yeah.
to the show, man. You're a blessing to us, and you became a member of the show today. Thank you very much, man. I hold
Bro,
that
I
to
told
heart.
you as soon as I got paid, I'd
You do it, right?
And I did
Onome
it.
Soji, Onome, we're still waiting for you to be a member of the channel, bro.
I
What
don't
are
even
you
know how to
waiting
be a
for?
member. How this
You
works.
just go to YouTube and click join. It's about 99 cents. 99
cool.
cents
I got you.
per month. It's not it's you know you're on a range you're in a Range Rover. Let us the channel guys,
I claimed that Range
let's have
Rover.
some
I haven't seen it. But I
you're in
claimed
a Range Rover out there. Let's have Range Rovers for channel owners too,
I claim it.
Just go to the channel page and join my channel, my brother. See, Manny, please shout out your channel, or shout out where people can find you.
Yeah, well, I don't have a channel of my own, but and obviously, like I've been thinking of trying to start one, but there have been a lot of things going on. So whatever happens, I'll just keep it coming on YouTube on various channels. Huge shout out to TonyclaudeGunnerTV. Love coming on whenever possible. I know that sometimes our schedules might clash a bit, but whenever we come on, it's absolute magic. We say our pieces, we go back and forth, but at the end of the day, we come to a resolution, and that's what I love about doing this. You can find me on some other channels on YouTube, mainly some Arsenal fan channels. Shout out to Delboy Gunner TV, of course, Featley TV, who was here earlier. Love working with him. Danny AFC TV. I actually have to hop on his video right now as soon as this is over. And then a lot of other football streams like Oris Talks Football, Coach's Corner with Hanno Trollip. I do a lot of watch-alongs with him. Huge shout out as well to Up the Cherries in All Departments, which is a Bournemouth-based fan channel. I'm doing a special show with them called World Cup Cherries throughout the course of this tournament. We will be recording later on in the week, and we'll be hoping to premiere and upload those videos over this weekend, and hopefully things will go well. And I think there have been several other might have been a few other channels I've been on, but I have been able to, shout them out. So if I haven't shouted you out, I'm really sorry. The check's in the post. And on social media, you can catch me on Instagram, Manny Thungatherai 1981. Twitter, Thungatherai 1981. You can catch me talking about football, politics, any topic I feel like speaking about. I have a lot of arguments with a few Arteta in fans. They come at me. I shut them up, put them back in their box, and I move on with my life. It's the way it is. That's what you get with me. And I love talking about football respectfully with like-minded football fans of all ages. It's not about loyalty to clubs or teams. It's about the love of the game, which unites us all. And that's where we should find common ground. So thank you once again for having me. Enjoy your Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Do not do anything I wouldn't do. And also, good luck to England and all the teams who will be playing tomorrow in this World Cup. And for now, I'm out.
Manny, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. I always love your outrows, and mostly whenever you say your son name, because I like that son name. I used to have a flatmate, an Indian flatmate called Tankadurai, actually. So of course,
so
that's
Indian, amazing. So you got the pronunciation more or less spot on. That's terrific. I'm really happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell people, say it like you spell it like you say it. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Manny. Steve, where can they find you, man?
Newcastle Fans TV. I'll do some watch-alongs of some games, and I'll do some games on your channel, though. Tony, bro, and I'm on my own channel, Strasbourg Steve. That's really about it. But
yeah, sure. Apart from all these things, me and Steve were friends outside YouTube. Of course, we have our own show here together, but we're also friends outside the box too. So we talk most times. We'll be having our show.
I was worried, Tony. I didn't know we were friends. I was starting to worry.
I get that, man.
I was concerned.
I'm sorry, man.
I was questioning your motive.
I'm sorry, man.
How the fuck does this guy want to talk to me? Maybe he likes me. Maybe, just maybe.
All right, man. So we have our own show coming up tomorrow, which is the World Cup coming up tomorrow.
Watch along, yeah.
So it's a watch along. So that show should be coming up around I think in English time. I think it should be like 4 o'clock or so.
And for me, that's 11 a.m.
11 a.m. I think you might be at work at the time, right?
No. I'll be home. I'd be home for 3 hours.
Okay.
So I'll take
good
a
and
short.
okay.
I'll take a brief nap and then. Yeah.
And then exactly. And also I'll also be working with Thomasin, our friend Thomasin, or Sabia. He will also be coming around for the World Cup watch alongs too.
Yeah.
So Soj, Onome Soj, please, you're welcome to jump in and during the World Cup period. If you maybe, free, if you're freed up to watch the World Cup and you want to also be part of commentary at the same time too, please, you're free to jump in. You're already a big friend here of the show too, and I hope to be your friend outside the box of this whole YouTube thing, entirely. So Soj, shout where people can find you. Nowhere.
I'll find you.
You'll find us, okay?
I'll find you. Don't look for me. I'll find you. I don't have any social media.
He's not really a public person, actually.
I don't have any social media stuff. I just love football, ex-footballer. So I just talk about football when I want to.
Just talk about football, yeah. And I really, really appreciate you, my brother, man. Most times, even if it's late, you just come around and just chop it up with us. I really appreciate.
I'm at work right now, but I'm chilling in the car.
You're chilling in the car, right? Yeah.
I'm chilling my time.
Yeah, sure, man. Big ups to you, man. Thanks very much, man. And of course, anytime during the World Cup course, you can always jump in the watch alongs we'll be doing for the World Cup. Yeah, cool. Thanks very much, man. Everyone, thank you very much. Join us for the World Cup opener tomorrow. Me, Steve Machala, and hopefully Thomasin Osabia might be joining us. Manitan Gadirai, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you, sir, coming to the show most times. God bless you. God bless your family. And of course, the football capital who was here earlier with us, David who was here with us, Steve Fitley who was here with us. Thank you to all these guys. You guys, I love you guys. Thank you, man. And peace out.
Yeah.
Peace.